evil cops thought they could outsmart the system, but they're about to learn that the only thing they'll be booking tonight is a one-way ticket to accountability. First on the menu, we have a cop who thought he could have his cake and eat it too, until he choked on his own lies. Former Jackson County Deputy Zachary Wester was charged with an astonishing 67 counts of racketeering, fabricating evidence, and false imprisonment. Zachary was accused by 12 drivers of having planted narcotics inside their cars.
It appears to be an illegal narcotic. Do you know anything about that?
I do not.
No, what is that? I'm just trying to figure out how that stuff got in your car. You gonna go to jail today for possession of method?
Oh man, dude, I'm serious, dude. Anything, what you want me to do, man? And I knew my truck was clean. I knew it was.
Anything the vehicle need to be concerned about? Bombs, hand grenades, rocket launchers? Okay.
It is yogurt, sir.
I know. Okay.
It's yogurt.
How about this, though?
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay.
Now, the white small plastic baggie that was in that spoon that the deputy just showed you on this video, had you ever seen that before?
No, sir.
Was that in your car?
No, sir.
The court proceeding mostly consisted of evidence as all the 12 drivers testified against Zachary. Finally, the jury reached a verdict and it was announced.
In the state of Florida versus Zachary Tyler Wester, case number 19-CF-431. We, the jury, find as follows as to the counts charged and the information. Count 1, guilty of racketeering as charged. Count 2, not guilty. Count 3, not guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, not guilty. Count 41, guilty of possession of controlled substance related to February 15, 2018 as charged. Count 42, not guilty. Count 43, not guilty. Count 44, guilty of possession of a controlled substance related to April 17, 2018 as charged. 65, guilty of false imprisonment related to Stephen Van as charged. Count 66, not guilty. Count 67, not guilty.
All right, Mr. Clerk, if you'll go ahead and poll our jury. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in your jury room.
The verdict was read as all the 67 charges were read individually, and Zachary was found guilty of 19 of them, including racketeering, official misconduct, and possession of controlled substances. In a final hearing, the judge announced his sentence.
Mr. Wester, this court now sentences you as follows in this case. As to count 1, racketeering, which is a first-degree felony, you are sentenced to serve 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 7, official misconduct, as a third-degree felony, you are sentenced to serve 18 months in the Florida Department of Corrections. That will be served concurrent with count 1. As to count 65, false imprisonment, that's a third-degree felony, you are sentenced to serve 1 year and 1 day in the Florida Department of Corrections, consecutive to count 64. Counts 7, 9, 10, 31, 33, 34, 41, 44, 48, 64, and 65 are to be served consecutive to each other for a total sentence in this case of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections. This sentence of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections is to run concurrent with a 5-year Department of Corrections sentence in count 1. Therefore, it is the intention of the court that you are sentenced to serve a total of 12 years, 6 months, and 8 days in the Florida Department of Corrections I'm also going to award the defendant 58 days jail credit as to count 1 and count 7.
The corrupt deputy was rightfully sentenced to 12 and a half years in prison. Well, this officer was definitely corrupt, but the actions of this next cop were so hideous, he was given the ultimate sentence.
The court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270.
The tragic death of George Floyd at the hands of Officer Derek Chauvin on May 25, 2020, sparked a worldwide movement calling for justice and police reform. Chauvin was charged and eventually convicted of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter.
I wanted to thank everybody for being here and for providing the input you did. Not just the people who were in the courtroom here, but also those who provided written statements, both from the Floyd family and the defendant's family. I've read all the impact statements that were submitted earlier and listened carefully to all the input here today. And it is truly appreciated that you took the time to stay with this case and to provide me with input. I have reviewed the pre-sentence investigation and carefully considered all the facts of the case and the law, but my comments are actually going to be very brief. Most of it's going to be in writing. I have a 22-page memorandum that is going to be attached to the sentencing order. And why am I doing it in writing? To emphasize the fact that determining the appropriate sentence in any case, and in this case, is a legal analysis. It's applying the rule of law to the facts of an individual and specific case. And that is why, as opposed to trying to being profound here on the record, I prefer that you read the legal analysis that explains how I determined the sentence in this case.
Derek stood still and refused to show any emotions that would display guilt and remorse. The police officer knew he was about to face a long sentence.
What the case is, or what the sentence is not based on, is emotion or sympathy. But at the same time, I want to acknowledge the deep and tremendous pain that all the families are feeling, especially the Floyd family. You have our sympathies. And I acknowledge and hear the pain that you are feeling. I acknowledge the pain not only of those in this courtroom, but the Floyd family who are outside this courtroom and other members of the community. It has been painful throughout Hennepin County, throughout the state of Minnesota, and even the country. But most importantly, we need to recognize the pain of the Floyd family. I'm not going to attempt to be profound or clever because it's not the appropriate time. I'm not basing my sentence also on public opinion. I'm not basing it on any attempt to send any messages. A trial court judge, the job of a trial court judge is to apply the law to specific facts and to deal with individual cases.
The judge made it abundantly clear that the sentence would not be based on public uproar and emotions, but would be decided strictly according to the law. That's when he announced the sentence.
Mr. Chauvin, as to count 1, based on the verdict of the jury finding you guilty of unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony under Minnesota Statute 609.19 subdivision 2 paren 1, it is the judgment of the court that you now stand convicted of that offense. Pursuant to Minnesota Statute section 60904, counts 2 and 3 will remain unadjudicated as they are lesser offenses of count 1. As sentence for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. That's 270. That is a 10-year addition to the presumptive sentence of 150 months. This is based on your abuse of a position of trust and authority, and also the particular cruelty shown to George Floyd. You are granted credit for 199 days already served. Pay the mandatory surcharge of $78 to be paid from prison wages. You're prohibited from possessing firearms, ammunition, or explosives for the remainder of your life. Provide a DNA sample as required by law, register as a predatory offender as required by law, and then you will receive a copy of the order and also the attached memorandum explaining the court's analysis.
If this needs to be said, we just ask that it be executed forthwith.
Defendant is remanded to the custody of the sheriff to be transported back to the DOC or whichever custody is currently holding him. Anything for the defense? No, Your Honor. All right. Thank you. We are adjourned.
22.5 years in prison. That's what you get for striking and poor victim. Chauvin was then sent to the Oaks Park Heights prison. Next up, we're going to Seminole County, where a judge absolutely tore apart a lying officer.
Then I want you taking him up on perjury.
Your Honor.
Will you take him up for perjury?
He admitted it was a mistake, Your Honor.
No, but he lied. He lied on a sworn
Absolutely
citation.
not, Your Honor, and that is...
Officer Michael Wagner had arrested defendant Lisette Gonzalez for DU1. However, when the judge analyzed the case, he realized the officer had never conducted a breathalyzer test and lied about it in court. The judge annihilated the corrupt deputy and his supporting attorney.
I want to be enlightened.
It was a mistake, admittedly, by Michael Wagner.
I know.
He testified to that today.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended for at least a few months for nothing. So are you going to no process that case, or am I going to get mad at you today?
Perhaps you can get mad at me, Your Honor, but at this point...
Why wouldn't you? Wait a minute. Did you hear the uncontroverted testimony of this officer?
Your Honor.
Then I want you taking him up on perjury.
Your Honor.
Will you take him up for perjury?
He admitted it was a mistake, Your Honor.
No, but he lied. He lied on a sworn
Absolutely
citation.
not, Your Honor, and that is not true.
I'm dismissing. I am dismissing this charge. No, I'm dismissing the charge. This whole case was fishy, and I have no idea how they... You know what?
Their address on file.
You know what?
The state intends to amend
I'm
the
granting.
charge and proceed on
I'm rescinding the sentence. I'm granting the JOA.
So you're granting it because you don't agree with the state's decision on
I'm
the
granting
other
the
charge?
JOA in fairness.
In fairness, because you don't like the state's decision today, Your Honor, on the case?
No, you're not. Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady with no real probable cause. You're done. Motion, the JOA is granted.
And you're not going to provide a written order on that?
Nope. You want to appeal me? Appeal me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The case should have never been done. Never.
Thank you for letting us know that, Your Honor.
The judge was so furious that he ordered the charges against the defendant dismissed, relieving her from any trouble. Next, we have a crazy instance where an officer couldn't control his emotions in court. During a court hearing in December 2012, the judge sentenced a defendant on assault. At this time, he tried to talk to the judge, but a police officer standing nearby did something shocking to retaliate.
Investigation for false imprisonment in the third degree, as a Class 2 felony, and a misdemeanor charge as well in possession of heroin.
I'd like to object first. If I'm under investigation, I thought the investigation came first, then the arrest came.
Right.
Deputy Brady Lavingier him and pushed him to the ground. The suspect suffered several injuries and was taken to the hospital. On the other hand, Deputy Brady was suspended from his job and later resigned. This wasn't the end, as the federal jury awarded $50,000 to the suspect. Well, this cop lost his temper, but you'd be shocked to find out the actions of this next tyrant.
At least give me the satisfaction of knowing that you're out there beating up right now. LOL. How humiliating and degrading.
In January 2015, Inkster police officer William Mendez repeatedly punched a black man during a traffic stop. He was immediately charged with misconduct. Just before sentencing the racist cop, Judge Vonda Evans gave a powerful speech.
I'm going to start out with Mr. Dent. The victim involved in this tragedy is a 58-year-old black man who was driving his Cadillac in Inkster, a suburb of Detroit. On the evening of January 28, 2015, where his life changed forever. He was stopped by the defendant, a then Inkster police officer, and his partner, Officer Zelenuski. Mr. Dent was stopped for a minor traffic offense and ordered out of his vehicle. With his hands extended out of his driver's window, he was grabbed out, thrown to the ground, and struck 16 times in the head by the defendant. In his attempt to arrest him, he was thrown onto a window shield of a patrol car, bleeding profusely from a head injury. The responding police officers arrived as the defendant is wrestling the defendant to the ground. Mr. Dent was struck, kicked, and tased while on the ground by what appeared to be a group of angry, anxious police officers.
Judge Bonda went on to explain the disgusting actions Officer Mendez committed earlier. However, the worst was yet to come as she told the cops' disdained reaction.
After the defendant was beaten and cuffed, the video in the car shows the police officers fist bumping as a celebratory act of bravery by the defendant and his cohorts. But the one image that struck out to the court was looking at Mr. Dent in his cell, shaking his head. In disbelief of what had occurred to him. If his conduct was indicative of what he was thinking, I would have thought this: what crime did I commit? Being a black man in a Cadillac, stopped for a minor traffic offense by a group of racist police officers looking to do it. As Police Officer John Zelenuski, auxiliary police officer, testified in court too, in his response to a text, was quoted as saying, "At least give me the satisfaction of knowing that you're out there beating up niggas." LOL. How humiliating and degrading that must have been.
It's shocking how these law enforcement officers berate and ridicule someone based on their color.
He was left in a cell for a number of hours before getting medical treatment. But after hearing the defendant and his fellow officers joke about his injuries as they were wiping blood off their uniforms with disinfectant. 2015. Please be quiet in my courtroom. Some years ago, 19 to be, 25 to be exact, I remember coming into this building with such enthusiasm, so excited. And I remember a lawyer telling me that nobody leaves out of this building like they came in. I didn't understand what that meant. 20 years later, I do. Everybody has a grand idea about changing the world. And you seem like you felt like you're fighting a losing battle. And little by little, it grows. It's a cancer. It starts to eat away at you. You become cynical. You start to look at pictures of guys, not for the goriness, but as evidentiary value.
You can see the disgust and desperation on the face of Judge Evans as she went through the details of the case. Officer Mendez could do nothing but watch in dismay.
You go to social events, you tell people what you do for a living, and after they say, what kind of cases do you hear? And as a judge, prosecution, defense, does criminal defense, a police officer, after a while they say, we don't want to know anymore. That's the job in the criminal justice system. It's compounded with that being a police officer. These pressures and expectations force officers who have a pure desire to purely serve the community as an occupation to conform to this group mentally or face being ostracized and labeled as an outcast among that group. These methods of indoctrination are passed along to new police recruits in the academy by stressing the importance of obedience to authority through a structure of shame and honor. It teaches them to conform and obey to the prevailing standards of the police culture. Field training, the recruit gets a reality check of what it's like to be out in the city. They then begin to shy away from what they've learned in the academy, and automatically they become a prototype of really who trains them.
Miss Evans was highly critical of the entire police system that forced these officers to turn into villains. She asserted that it's challenging to uphold principles in a corrupt system desperately needing reform.
I was out at a mall yesterday. I asked a woman a question. I said, "You don't have to answer. How much do you get paid an hour?" She said, $15 with benefits. Well, guess what? That's more than what Inkster gets. They don't get benefits. The equipment, the police cars are old. We went out to the scene. Early in the morning, there were people who were using drugs. They just kind of came out. And the only thing I could imagine was the only thing that is separating these people from drug selling are the police officers that appeared in my court. We rather put technology, money in technology by buying bait cars and surveillance cameras. But that doesn't reduce crime. It doesn't deter it. Properly trained police officers do. They go to work every day with the knowledge that some of the people that they are sworn to protect and serve want to kill them. The media and their bosses scrutinize their every move, and they get paid worse than security guards at malls, who's the worst crime that can be committed is shoplifting. But how do we as a community expect superior services from police officers who are making security guard salaries to receiving little compensation and struggling just to pay health care?
She was also sympathetic to the cops claiming there must be better pay and more programs looking after their mental and physical health.
We would rather save a few dollars to balance a budget than pay millions of dollars to reverse a tragedy that we could have prevented. I know that Mr. Dent would give back every dime of his $1 million settlement to go back to where he was in his life before January 28th. I wonder what would one half of that $1.4 million settlement awarded to Mr. Dent have done for the Inkster Police Department? Training officers that wanted to serve and not hiring officers that didn't belong. It's my belief that when we begin to value and properly compensate and train those that want to serve, then and only then will we as a community receive the type of services that we expect and demand from the defenders of our community, the police. It's amazing how poor cities like Flint can find millions of dollars to attempt to reverse a situation that $100 a day could and would have prevented. Mr. Melendez, the purpose of this long, protracted sentencing was to offer you the one thing that this court believed you didn't give Mr. Dent: fairness and due process. Being a police officer is a tremendous and very rewarding occupation. I believe it's a calling on your life to do justice in the community. On January 28, 2015, you did not fulfill your job. You performed just us.
After highlighting the shortcomings, Judge Evans came back to the heinous crime committed by Officer Mendez as the racist cop listened shamefully.
A game that began with a police stop. The purpose of it was to harass and degrade a motorist in Inkster. The man chosen for your game was Floyd Dent, a black man. The game went like this. Let's follow a car in a known area, and based on your years of training experience, you knew that the motorist would likely be a black person, no license, armed with drugs in a vehicle. Upon stopping Mr. Dent, who was dead wrong for driving with no license or license suspended, running stop signs, and weaving in and out of the back street, which the court saw in the video, you and your sidekick, auxiliary police officer Zelenowski, caught your prey. Upon being stopped, Mr. Dent put his hands out of the driver's window in plain view. Your partner and you pulled him out. When he didn't move fast enough for you, you refer to it as resisting. I call it bowing down to your command. You utilized your dirty, hairy tactics and used excessive force to arrest him.
Officer Mendez was well known in the department to be an aggressive police officer, as he had previous complaints against him as well.
Your job was twofold. Investigate the situation, be a positive example to Officer Zelenowski. When your posse arrived, they joined you in the takedown, kicking and tasing and ultimately throwing Mr. Dent into a windshield of a police car with a dash cam, which I refer to as the eye of justice. You were so into your bravado that you forgot the eye of justice was watching you and recording this disgusting beating, seeing Mr. Dent slammed into the window shield with blood running down his face. The dash cam that was designed to protect you ended up being what convicted you. Fist busting after taking him down as a sign of bravery was just another cowardly act caught by the eye of justice. You knew better. You were better trained than any of those officers out there. You were more experienced. Took me several days to read the letters that people sent talking about your character, about the man that you are, about how you went in Westland and helped to save 3 senior citizens from a burning building. 3 of those letters, I believe, were from African Americans, and 1 even professed to be like a mother. 1 or 2 things, either they're all racist or there's something redeeming about you that somehow in some way you forgot that night. The way you denigrated that man was awful. Who would know and who would care about a lone black man being assaulted by upstanding police officers? Boy, were you wrong. They say that what you do in the dark will eventually come to light. And yes, it did. It became a worldwide example of what the police is not about, and that's brutality.
It was a poetic moment as a racist officer was humbled and sentenced by a black judge. After her powerful speech, she finally proceeded to read out his sentence.
It ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. It's equally applicable when he has the video. The eye of justice in this case. You betrayed your city. You caused your lovely wife heartache. And you caused Mr. Dent severe anguish. And finally, in the words of Vicki Yost, your commander, accountability is required to ensure continued community trust and healing. Today, I can only punish your conduct, but only you and God can change your character. I am going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections. However, after weighing the allegations in this particular matter and looking at all the circumstances, including what you've done, and who the person I really believe that you are. I'm going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections as to count 1 for no less than 13 months, no more than 10 years. As to count 2, I'm going to give you 90 days credit for time served and close it out. The court's going to give you 85 days for credit. You have 42 days to appeal my decision. That concludes this matter. Thank you.
Officer Mendez, who had been fired from the police department, was sent to the Bellamy Creek Correctional Facility. However, after just 14 months, he was released and is now a free man. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today, we witnessed some of the worst police officers being held accountable and humbled in courtrooms. It's satisfying to see these tyrants receive the sentences they deserve, along with the public humiliation they face both in the news and in the courts. Next, a corrupt officer faced the old hard truth as his dirty deeds were exposed. In November 20th, 22, Deputy Bean from the Klamath County Sheriff's Department was on his way to his friend when he saw Jason driving home. The officer and Jason had prior history, and knowing he had an expired license, the deputy pulled him over.
What are you doing?
Hospital?
Getting back from the hospital. Great. You're not supposed to be driving. You're not supposed to be driving. What? I don't know. You have your ID? What? Do you have your ID?
Yeah, why?
Need to look at it.
What?
What?
Why?
Because you're in violation. ID and stuff. Don't drive.
Jason even told the officer that he was returning home from the hospital. His father had suffered a stroke and was in critical condition. Despite his compulsion, the officer handed over a ticket to him. Things weren't too out of hand at this point, but what happened next will totally leave you in shock.
That guy's felony. Wayne Street. Food's coming out. Come on in. Hey! No, I was on the way. I was just coming. I just was down here. No, I was at the mall. And I turned around and here comes Jason Rohr. So I'm like, oh, that's too good to be true. I better greet him one more time. Oh, God, he's such a.
Jason Rohr.
Oh God, he's a. He is the biggest I think I've dealt with. All the time dealing with. He is such a dick. Yeah, when I was leaving, he had both fingers out the window. You know, okay.
Deputy Bean forgot to turn off his body cam and was caught laughing at Jason's misery while boasting about how he enjoyed terrorizing him.
Oh, he's such a. But you know what? He goes down, pays whatever. He goes down, probably pays $1,000 every time I give him a ticket. Because because I single-handedly wrote him enough tickets that they made him a habitual offender. So he actually has to show up every time I write him a ticket now. Because he used to just he'd be like, look, I don't care, Bean. He'd just throw it out the window or just throw it in the car. He's like, I don't care. And I just tag him. I don't know how much it's like, if you get them 6 times in 6 months for A violations, then they're revoked. Habitual offender. And so I was like, I don't care. I'll tag you tomorrow. So I tuned him up. Oh, he is a dick. So he was telling me old Red had a stroke.
Oh, really? It can happen to a nicer guy.
I don't know what everybody's going to do with their dope now. Yeah, old Red. Yeah, apparently that's what they said. Oh, we're just coming from the hospital. How am I supposed to get back and forth? Not my problem.
It's shocking and disheartening to see how these officers casually joked about his dad's condition and laughed at giving him tickets. According to court records, Deputy Bean had cited Jason 20 times, and at this point, it was all getting personal.
Problem. God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's got some new tattoos. He's got it must be a different gang or something he's in. but he's got like like the German red insignia on his hand now, and tats all over this hand, but they look like prison tattoos. They're really poor quality.
So somebody around here is probably doing it. Yeah. Well, what's her name down?
Probably with a dirty needle.
Meadows. Dana Meadows does tattoos.
Does she?
Yeah. And they're prison quality. I've seen a couple of her.
Is that right?
The deputy was notified that his body cam was on and immediately turned it off. Deputy Bean's statements would be constitutionally protected, and there's not much that can be done about this. But this incident exposed his cruelty and evil nature. Here's another instance of a cop forgetting his body cam was on, but this time he was on duty and did something worse.
No.
On April 21st, 2020, officers from the Monroe Police Department contacted Timothy Williams in response to an alarm call. As the officers searched the suspect, he became afraid and started running. However, he soon realized that he couldn't outrun the cops, so he decided to stop. One of the officers got control of the situation, but just right then, Officer Jared Desadier did something shocking.
Stop! You're gonna get up! Get on the ground now! Stay on the ground! Do not move! Do you understand?
I'm good, Dad.
No.
We got him.
Stand by. Hang on. Stop! Put your hand behind your back. We're over here by Rockland Squad. In custody.
Officer Jared's actions weren't any less of an animal as he completely violated his rights and brutally attacked him. Seeing this, the first officer exited the scene as Williams continued screaming.
Is this the same guy we got off the tower? No, sir. Dispatch, you can release the channel.
1071, channel 1, dispatch clear, 2327.
Let me secure my unit.
Go ahead.
I was sitting right over there. He had a toy.
Going on. I'll tell you in a second.
Check up. Right here. You got some?
213 dispatch. I want to be out with Officer Rocco real quick. Ciao.
I'm gonna pull around there.
Williams was arrested and taken to the police station. However, things got bad for the evil cop pretty soon as he was fired from the police department shortly after. Not only this, but he was also criminally charged and later pled guilty to a charge of deprivation of rights under the color of law. He was sentenced to a maximum of 10 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of up to $250,000. This officer surely got the ending he deserved, but this next evil cop got served with some quick karma.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
On December 9th, 2022, Elmira police officers, including the police chief, Anthony Alvarez, were dispatched to a location after multiple 911 hangups. Just as the officers were arriving, a guy jumped out of the window and attempted to flee. That's when the cops did something shocking.
Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach.
I didn't even do anything. I didn't do anything. Okay. Why are you detaining me?
Oh, you ain't detained, brother. You're on arrest.
Why? What did I do?
You tell me.
I didn't do anything.
I got legs. Nice jump, by the way. I don't know how the hell you cleared that car.
Thanks.
It was really impressive.
Why I want to be an officer.
You okay?
No.
What's wrong? Come up on your side and see easy to breathe. Kick that leg up for me right there.
Don't move that leg.
Well, it's easy to breathe if you say it that way, okay? What's wrong? What happened?
I don't know why you guys came to my house. I got cord. I never called 911. I'm sick. I don't feel good.
911 calls from there.
Well, I don't know how. I never called.
Chief Alvarez placed his knee on his back before aiding and handcuffing him. Soon, the officers realized he had not done anything wrong, but they continued with the arrest.
Nathaniel Jenkins is an officer of safety on the subject. Black male, medium, light hair. Black hoodie.
Just keep breathing, man.
Gray pants.
We got him detained. I was going to say, he's the only one, right? Yeah. Okay.
What did I do?
I don't know, Nathaniel. I just got here, man.
Is that why y'all came to detain me? I remember you.
Came to talk to you. We kept, like I said, we kept getting 911 calls, so we came to talk to you. And you were screaming at the one officer through the door, so they don't know what's going on.
I wasn't screaming. I asked him who it was.
Well, I believe you told him to fuck off, is what I think you said.
Oh,
no. Anything like spice or anything like that? Okay. Just so anything that might, put you into trauma or anything, make you go into arrest or anything. Do you want to stand up? Yeah? You want to sit on your butt for me? Sit up right there.
No, I didn't even do nothing.
You ready, Nick? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Your foot okay? See a cut there?
No, it's not okay.
One out back, watch it backward.
Nothing else on there, just your drawers on?
Yeah.
Lift your hands up for me a little bit.
I didn't shit myself again.
You shit yourself?
Yes, because I got stomach problems.
Let go of your hands there a little bit for me.
Despite his illness, the officers proceeded to make him sit in the back of the police cruiser, as they were still unsure about what was happening.
I'm home now since I didn't do nothing?
I don't know what we're going to do with you. We're going to take a seat in here. Do you want an ambulance or anything? You want me to come look at you?
Oh, no.
Sure?
I just want to just touch.
Come on this side of the door.
I was scared. That's why I ran.
Okay.
I didn't do nothing. I'm innocent.
Well, no need to run, man.
Yeah, because you guys, I don't know what you guys are going to do.
I'll put this. We want to make sure you're okay. That's what we want to do.
Well, I've seen so many videos when you guys had your guns out. So
Can I see your foot?
Yeah, I see.
Subject having command on.
Hey, his stuff is going to be in your door pocket right here.
Here, I'll just throw it in my
All right,
pocket.
please get that back, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yes. The back.
The cops released him shortly after, and although this arrest was vicious and uncalled for, this wasn't the reason for Chief's downfall. However, an internal investigation was launched into this case, and Chief Alvarez acted casually. Seeing this, City Manager Michael Collins and Mayor Dan Mandel issued a joint statement saying Alvarez acted unprofessionally, and he was eventually fired from his position. Moving on, we'll be going through this case where a deputy was caught and interrogated for his actions.
I didn't say anything like that. I never made any comment about taking anybody down.
Greenville County Sheriff's Deputy William Lewis submitted a transfer request, unaware that it would land him in hot water and lead to an interrogation for misconduct. The detective began with a different accusation. In 2011, a former deputy named Scott applied to the Anderson County Sheriff's Office but wasn't hired. Investigators suspected that Lewis had something to do with it.
It was brought to us by Captain Brown. It was initially just going to be taken care of by him, and then as it went up the ladder, they ended up to look into it. Alrighty. Apparently, Scotty Mendenhall was being interviewed and trying to get hired on at Anderson.
Okay.
Did you at some point speak to somebody in Anderson, a deputy or major?
A major.
Talk to him about Scotty, about his, I don't know if it was personal stuff or about work or what? Can you brief me on what happened with that whole thing?
What happened is I got a call from We were on, I don't remember what day it was, we were on third shift. And I remember where I was parked at. I was parked outside of Kingsgate subdivision on Batesville Road. I got a call asking me from Stan Whitten, telling me Scotty was going to apply over in Anderson County. I used to fish with a guy over there, pretty good friends, and Gary Bryant, he's a major. And I called Gary and I said, man, this guy's coming over to apply for a job with y'all. And like I said, this was a request to Stan Whitten. I said, man, got a guy coming over there to apply with y'all. I said, his name is, I may have told him his name was Scotty. I can't remember. I said,
Stan told you to call the major or something, or told
Stan said that he was going to call, or Stan asked me if I'd call over there and put in a word for Scotty.
Just for the record, you didn't say anything negative about Scotty.
No, I did not say anything negative about Scotty. I mean, those are.
So your point in calling was to assist him or help him get a job there?
No.
Or kind of?
I wouldn't even go that far.
Okay.
My point was to call over there because Stan asked me to call over there and talk to Gary. Okay. So I did. I did not ever at any point tell Gary that he was a great guy, he needed to hire him. I didn't tell him he was a shitbag and needed not to be hired. I didn't tell him one way or another.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that I called over there to get him a job. I did what,
Lewis claimed that he had nothing to do with Scott, and he may have complained against him because they were never good friends and often had problems with each other. Shortly after, the detective shifted focus to the main issue, Lewis's transfer request.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and this right here is, you may see a little fire in my eyes in this one because this is a little bit personal.
Okay.
When I was at GTI, I got a text message from somebody on the road that said, "Hey man, we're glad you're coming over." Okay, where am I coming?
Mm-hmm.
Heard they announced in roll call today that you coming on our side of that. Okay, great.
And this is timeout just for a time frame. This is just after the Bravo crap was over with.
I don't even know if it was over because I was at GTI. I have no idea what was going on.
Okay.
This was when I had to send you some supplemental from something from a year and a half
from
ago.
The older guy that did that, yeah.
Called Captain, and I said, heard I've been transferred. And he said, no, Captain. And I said, he said, yeah, we're moving you to Echo temporarily until we can figure out what's going on. I said, all right, that's fine. We'll stop that part of the story right there.
Okay.
In February of this year, Doug Bortone and I started the process of trying to get me switched over to Echo. Amy's school schedule, we knew it was coming. We knew ahead of time it was coming. The kids have been accepted into different schools, special schools. We knew all of these issues were going to arise. The schools have become more demanding. We had advance notice that there was going to be some issues if she had the kids at school before a certain time or after a certain time. So we kind of knew that this thing was coming. Come on, let's go talk to him. So we went and talked to Lieutenant Ridgway. Ridgway said, we'll see what we can do. I'll put it out to my guys and see if anybody wants to transfer. Nobody wanted to transfer off of Echo. That's fine. I said, well, over the course of the next several months, I said, whenever. I said, I'm giving you advance notice. I said, because August is when the school year is going to start. I said, so I'm going to need something in place by August. Okay, great. He said, 6-7 months notice. This is perfect time.
It appeared Lewis followed protocol and handed in a request on time. He only wanted to move because of his family, but surprisingly, the police department saw a problem.
That schedule's not going to work for me. I said, I need this where I'm guaranteed that I'm going to be off in the morning when the kids, even if it's only for 4 hours sleep, 4.5 hours sleep, I'll come home and take a nap. As long as I can be there to make sure that the kids go somewhere, that during the daytime, if they're sick, I can stay home with them. Amy can split her class in the afternoon and still get a full day's work in, and she's been there all day. So, everything was kind of in line there. I said, I'm going to need investigations. I said, I need the Echo hours. Mm-hmm. I said, if I need to, I can take a voluntary demotion to do that. He said, okay. That process continued on. To my knowledge, nothing was ever put in paper. While I'm driving the Echo car, I get a call at SWAT Tuesday afternoon when I was leaving the SWAT training, probably 4 o'clock or so. I get a message from Daniel. Give me a call. I said, all right. Called him. I said, what's up? He said, man, I'm looking forward to you coming in tomorrow. I said, for what? He said, for Charlton. I said, first time I heard about this. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, you've been assigned to my platoon. Okay. I said, well, I'm not going to be able to come in the morning. I said, because I was planning on working Echo hours, so I have to be available to take care of whatever the situation is with the kids. He said, well, that's fine. Take tomorrow off and we'll talk about it on Thursday. It's hard for a mom with 3 kids working full time to try to handle the kids and do everything. So I said, I told the captain, I said, listen, I said, my legacy's not here. I said, it's at home. I said, when I walk out the door, I said, nobody's going to remember me 2 weeks after I leave, whether it's as a major or a master deputy or a deputy too. I said, but my family's going to know me forever. The captain said, the major's aware, this has been approved and all that.
Okay.
So the captain said, all right, well, I'm going to call down to
Sally.
I'm going to call down to Sally, and I'll have the personnel order cut. I said, okay, great. So I walk out, and got my way out, and the captain says, no, the sheriff's got an open door policy. If you want to go sit down and talk to him, you can. And I said, well, it's not, if he's already approved it, I'm thinking, well, I might even, why would no
And to
offense.
this point, sorry, but I just want to be clear. To this point, you haven't talked to the sheriff directly about any of this?
No.
Okay. And when did you talk to roll call about saying that you were leaving? Is that
was that morning when I turned in my letter. Damon Hubbard and I talked about it the day before, and he said, do you want me to say something, or do you want to say something? I said, no, I would rather address them and tell that this is what's going to happen.
As we delved into the interrogation, it appeared that the sheriff's office was in the wrong. Deputy Lewis was just trying to be home with his kids, but the department kept giving him problems.
He said everything's going to be taken care of on Monday. He said, we're going to move. He said, your situation will be resolved and we'll have you where you need to be on the 17th of October. He said the new pay period is what he initially said. And I said, you mean Monday? And he said, no, not Monday. The following pay period is 17th. And I said, okay. And just to let you know, I've never kept up with pay periods in 15 years. That's how I've been able to keep up with pay periods for the last couple of months. He said he was going to take care of everything, and I would be where I needed to be on the 17th, or to be taken care of, and I would be where I needed to be on the 17th. I may be paraphrasing, I don't know if that's a quote, but something along those lines. I was under the impression that I would be wherever he wanted me to be put by the 17th.
Never Echo because that's what you needed, or?
But never at any point did he ever say he was going to put me on Echo. Never at any point did anybody say that I would go to Echo. I asked to go to Echo, and we were trying to get me to Echo. And I'll let Lieutenant Hubbard tell you all of the stuff that he said about trying to get all the details he arranged about trying to get me over to Echo without me losing a strike. I don't know what all he did, but he worked his. He said, you need to make arrangements to pick up an Echo car. And I said, okay. So, knowing that no personnel order had been cut, knowing that nothing had been in writing, I said, all right. He said, you need to call Sergeant Silver and get a car. Well, pretty sure this conversation was going to go with Sergeant Silver. So I made it a point to make the phone call from a recorded line, which was the Adam platoon desk on the far end.
You remember?
We had all talked about going to breakfast. But we got really busy that night.
The whole, just the west side.
Just the west side. We'd all talked about going to breakfast. But I ended up late. Calmon ended up late. A couple other guys ended up high on the call up in 10.
That's what much time to get off.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. So we were all kind of a scattered bunch. I sent out a message off the MDT, hey guys, we're not gonna be able to make it this morning late, whatever. Thanks for everything. And that was it. I appreciate it anyway. A couple of guys didn't get the message, and I got a phone call about 7:45. Hey, we're sitting over here. Where are you? I'm like, I'm on the way, guys. So I went over and tightened the cage up.
The detective tried to pressure Deputy Lewis, but this only agitated him, leading him to speak out against the department and its corrupt policy.
Well, you want the flat-out truth? I'll tell you the flat-out truth. I got railroaded. Period. If you don't talk about anything at all, people will make up their own shit. I choose to keep my mouth shut about it. Mendenhall, I keep my mouth shut about whatever's going on with Bravo. You don't say anything, people are going to talk shit. Eventually, people are going to start listening to what's being talked. And I'm tired of getting the sideways look that I'm the cause or reason of Bravo platoons. The whole investigation. That's what was said. That I was the cause. Then it got out that I was the one who spread the rumors about Cheryl Cromartie and Billy Brewer. That whole thing came out that I spread all these, and that's bullshit. That is not true. That is not what happened. I can tell you where it started. I can tell you how it started. I can tell you how it ended up. And I can probably tell you who spread that rumor. But it was not me. But when my face is not present, there was no sergeant, there was no lieutenant, and nobody gave a shit. So complaints were filed, statements were made, things were written, they all just magically disappeared and vanished. Nobody fucking knows. But at the end of the whole thing, I'm labeled the troublemaker. I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one that gets transferred. That's.
You asked to leave Bravo?
No. The only time I asked to leave Bravo was when I asked to go to.
Right.
If they had left me on Bravo, I'd have been
See,
fine.
I didn't, I came in here at the very end of the Bravo thing, so I didn't.
Yeah, whatever, it'll be taken care of. I'll get you where you need to be. Something to that effect. I don't know exactly.
He didn't say you're going to start on Echo on
He
17.
did not tell me I was going to start on Echo on the 17th. No, he did not.
Back to the Sergeant Lang issue. And like I said, he was not the complainant by any means. This came up during some other parts of this when we were asking about the whole other stuff. Is there a deal between, or did you think there was some investigation going on or something? Or we've already talked about how you feel and y'all's deal, you and Sergeant Lang. There's no history, but y'all not going to exactly go have a beer together. Is there an issue with Dallas, Sergeant Glass, at all?
Absolutely not.
Lewis explained to the detective that none of the higher-ups knew about his transfer request, and he believed that the department had hard done him.
Have you ever said anything about taking Sergeant Lang down and taking Dallas with you?
Hell no. This is some bull. I didn't say anything like that. I never made any comment about taking anybody down.
About like when all this started. In the
physically or like
No. Like in here.
Hell no.
Like if something were to happen to where you go.
Now it makes sense.
Or get.
Now it makes sense. I got a phone call the other day. Some dude was running his mouth that I had been in OPS for 2 days, writing statements on people.
Who said that?
Some kid on the fucking South End. I don't even know who it is. Now,
you talking about
now I know. Now it's starting to make sense. Now I'm digging. All right. Now I know where that came from now. Okay, go ahead. I said, when they came back and told me about it, what the conversation entailed, I told them, I said, listen, I don't agree with what they're telling you. I said, but you do what your sergeant tells you to do. This is my opinion, but I'm telling you, do what your sergeant tells you to do. Matter of fact, it's been just the opposite.
And I know that this is the whole reason you've been frustrated, obviously, since you told us now that was why you've been not happy around here. And this is the kind of crap you're talking about, and I understand that.
This is
I understand that. And just to clear...
You don't have to know.
Just to clear the record, it was not Dallas. Dallas has no problem with you whatsoever on this earth. You know them. He would hardly say a bad word about anybody in this whole world.
I ain't got a problem with Dallas. I ain't got a problem with him.
Lewis was frustrated by everything that had occurred earlier, and it was evident that the Greenville County Sheriff's Office is one of the worst out there, as they can't resolve simple situations.
It was, I called him one morning and I said, listen, I'm going to have to go home early. I said, because the kids are sick. I said, Amy's sick. I said, I'm going to have to get home. She's got to go in and put sub-plans in place, and she had to be at the school at like 6:30 to do that. So I had to leave at like 6:15. I went home, and then other arrangements were made. Somebody could watch the kids that morning, just briefly. So I picked up the phone and called him. I said, listen, man, I don't need to go home this morning. It's covered. And he said, are you sure? He said, because if you need to go, you need to go. And I was shocked that he was like, yeah, take care of what you need to take
Well, they've
care
all
of.
told us that during this, and to clear it for you, obviously we can't get specifics, but nobody on your shift.
How many people come up in here and sit down with 15 fucking years experience, and you got captains and everybody else looking down saying, well, you know what, we don't have enough to ask him, so you go ask the fuck. Come ask me. I will tell you what happened. I have never sat in this room or any other room in this agency and lied to anybody about anything that has ever happened, and I'll be damned if I'm going to start now.
The main thing that was brought to our attention initially was this whole, the Scotty thing first, and then how you ended up getting almost transferred, but not really when there wasn't a personnel order and all that. So that's what came to us initially.
We'll wait till the end of this investigation, and once everything's cleared, then I'll make whatever sense I need to make. This is...
And you know, it's just Laura's job to unscrew.
I'm not mad at anybody in this room. You got to do what you got to do.
And I don't want you to be at Sergeant Lang. Sergeant Lang spoke to us here to talk to him because his name, he was not the complainant.
I don't talk to Sergeant Lane now. I'm not talking to him later on. I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't have to talk to him, and he doesn't have to talk to me.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, we're not. I mean, this is.
It's just allegation when it all boiled down to it, and I know it sucks. Let's take just a quick break. So,
Take a potty break from you.
yeah, you may take a potty break. Will call who he needs to call, then we'll get you out of here.
You good?
Yeah, let me go get the phone and call.
Alright, you're cool. You sure you're good?
I'm fine.
While the interrogation didn't reach any conclusive finding, it exposed just how corrupt and dysfunctional the sheriff's office is. Internal politics are far more troubling than anyone could imagine. Finally, don't miss the deliciously satisfying moment when this officer's house of cards came crashing down when he was caught by a fellow officer.
Payment off road, good try again.
Okay, I'm coming to a stop.
Get out of the truck!
Alright, you just pull back out.
Okay, are you switching over to Quick County or Ross County?
He took off again. We're heading northbound, 23. 1959 Jackson, on half traffic, for northbound, right lane. He rolled the window down, looked at us, rolled it back up. We're northbound 48 miles an hour, passing Moore Road in Ross County.
I need an update for 1020 again.
Backup joined in, and it was not before several police vehicles were behind Rose that he pulled over and slowly exited his truck.
Stop there, if they got wrong.
Among the officers was also a K-9 unit. Rose was out of his truck with his hands raised above his head. He was carrying no weapons and was complying with the police when the K-9 officer did something shocking.
That's a dog! Come to me! You don't one bit! On the ground, you're gonna get bit. Come to me, man!
Do not let them, don't release the dog. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog with his hands up, dog. Do not, get the dog off of it. Get the dog off of it. Get the dog. Get out the dog. Get the cat. Get the cat. Get the cat.
It was later revealed that Rose was afraid to get out of his car as he had seen officers with their guns drawn. The poor guy had no idea his worries were about to get real as the heartless officer let his E9 maul him.
Get the dog off. Get your dog. Get it out. Get it out. Please.
I got squad.
Don't
get a call now. It'll be a squad for the suspect. Our hands are clearing the vehicle now.
Put your hand back. Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
Get the first aid.
Even the officers couldn't see what had happened, as all of them were disgusted by the K-9 officer's action. Despite them shouting at him not to release the dog, the unhinged officer proceeded with it, causing Rose immense pain and agony.
You got a first aid kit going up there now?
Yep, he's bringing it to me. I'm looking for it.
23 southbound, left lane B.
I say have one of the motor units at Master, whatever.
Yeah. Was that not loud enough?
You said 3-4 miles a time.
All you have to do is come to me, Bob.
And then we have the front steer tire on the rims. 32 right lane.
They have one en route.
County is already dispatched. Bro, don't touch my left arm, bro. You just let the dog bite me. Why would you touch my left arm?
Rose was in a deplorable condition as the other officers gave him some first aid. It's crazy how the actions of one psycho police officer caused such a huge damage.
No, why you keep bending my arm?
We're trying to get it wrapped.
We're wrapping it up. We're not trying to hurt you.
Here. Here's a pad.
Don't even touch it while I got handcuffs on. Y'all just making it worse.
Man,
and you still laying on me like you pinning me down. I got cuffs on.
Nobody is on you.
Yes, you are. Look, you're grabbing my shorts.
We're trying to wrap you up.
I don't need it wrapped up right now.
Right.
I have handcuffs on. What am I doing to you?
You could kick somebody. I don't want you to kick anybody.
I'm not going to kick nobody. I just got bit by a dog.
I understand that. Just
man, you don't understand. You don't understand. Did you get bit by a dog?
They're gonna have tape in here.
Stop squeezing it.
Nobody, buddy. Nobody's trying to hurt you.
Shit, you just let a dog bite me.
All you had to do is come to me.
I was coming. All the guns pointing at me. How you do this thing to respect you? You got a gun pointing at me. It's like 20 of y'all.
All you had to do was stop, brother.
The K-9 officer, later identified as Ryan Speakman, showed no remorse for his actions as he seemingly fled the scene. The other officers stood and watched in dismay as they called for EMS.
You want to stand up on your feet or you want to sit on your butt? EMS is
I don't know what you're going to let me do.
I'm going to let you either sit or stand. As long as you ain't gonna do nothing stupid.
I'm gonna do something stupid.
Just have him set up, Tyler.
And you still
let him set up.
Shit, it's too late for that. And you still squeezing me.
I know.
You still squeeze. Let it go. Don't put pressure on me.
You have to have pressure.
Don't know. Let it be.
Just go ahead and let it. You good.
Why are you still touching me?
What's that?
Why are you still touching me?
Because you are under arrest.
Yeah, I have handcuffs on.
I understand.
All right, so you can stop touching me and tell me what I need to do.
Why
would y'all
trying to set up? He's not going to accept it. What do you mean? I gave you 3 warnings. Did I not?
Man, you just pulled up. I ain't trying to do that.
Did I not say final warning? You're going to the dog.
Next available rollback. Left front tire on the truck is deflated. Brake.
65 calling new exit should already be around. Go ahead.
Okay, no further.
Okay.
Still need the truck RP.
Give him a call.
Go ahead.
It's looser than the lip. It's tight. So y'all gonna cut off circulation to my left arm.
Hold on. You want to bleed out?
I don't want it to be tight.
It's got to be, man. Otherwise, that's literally a tourniquet's job.
The officers at least had the courtesy to give him first aid, and they kept tending to him until the medical experts arrived.
No, it hurts. You want to lay down? That's fine. I told y'all it was too tight. Y'all don't want to listen to me.
James, is that your mic?
Why are you going in my pockets?
Get your ID.
Rose was ultimately taken to the hospital where he was treated for his injuries and was then taken to the county jail, where he was charged with failure to comply. He bonded out of jail, and the Circleville Police Department launched an internal investigation against Officer Speakman. They placed him on administrative leave, and after a comprehensive investigation, he was fired from the department. This officer got the perfect ending for disobeying his seniors, but this cop took things up a notch.
I am going into work, my man. Why are you trying to pull me over as I'm going into work?
Because you're going 80 and a 45.
I am going into work.
On June 6, 2023, a Seminole County Sheriff's deputy was on his routine patrol when he saw a police cruiser going 80 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. The deputy stopped the officer, but he shockingly continued driving instead of pulling over.
Over 100 miles an hour trying to catch up with this butthead. He's the guy that copy down that bumper number.
This one or this one?
Yeah, 11070.
The officer was later identified as 35-year-old Alexander Shawnee, who kept driving through cars to avoid the deputy. I wonder why these officers consider them above the law. When he finally stopped, his entitlement was on another level.
Pull over. You gonna pull over?
Please say a command.
Pull over. Three 113 to 313.
What? I am going into work, my man. Why are you trying to pull me over as I'm going into work?
Because you're going 80 and a 45.
I am going into work.
Okay, what are you going to work for?
What does it look like I am dressed for?
What
does it look like I am dressed for?
My name is Deputy Hilton, and I see your driver's license.
No.
Okay. 3113, copy at 1050. 10-4, I got a city, Orlando PD taking off from a traffic stop. It's going to be X-Ray Foxtrot 6207, XF 6207. You refuse to stop.
www.
If this cop behaves like this with a fellow officer, we can only imagine how badly he treats the public. Without any fear of the consequences of his action, he drove away. However, later the Orlando Police Department took notice of the incident and charged him with eluding and fleeing a law enforcement officer and reckless driving. He was also relieved of his duties by the police department. He later turned himself in the Seminole County Jail and was released on a $9,000 bond. Surprisingly, this wasn't the last time an officer acted entitled when he was pulled over.
You really want my driver's license?
I just want to look at it.
Huh?
I said, I just
I'm
want...
the sheriff. I'm not giving you my license. I'm the sheriff.
On August 8th, 2021, a police officer pulled over a black truck for speeding. When he went over to the car, he was definitely not expecting this awkward situation.
Good afternoon, I'm Officer Henry with the Wilson Police Department. The reason for the stop today is because I clocked you 37 and a 25.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can I get your driver's license real quick, Mr. Bryant?
You really want my driver's license?
I just want to look at it.
Huh?
I said, I just
I'm
want...
the sheriff. I'm not giving you my license. I'm the sheriff.
Okay.
Okay? I'm not giving you my driver's license.
Okay.
Okay?
Alrighty.
All right? I appreciate you.
Sit tight for me real quick.
The driver identified himself as Carter County Sheriff Chris Bryant, who appeared too entitled to be held accountable for an offense.
You realize I'm the sheriff of this county?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm the sheriff of this county. All right?
Okay.
You pulled me over. You've made your contact. You gonna
Okay.
write me a ticket?
I mean, I wasn't going to. I was just going to make sure you had your driver's license on you.
I got my driver's license.
I was just wanting to I was just asking to look at it, and then I was going to send you on about your day.
Okay.
That's all I was doing.
There's my driver's license.
Okay.
Okay. And there's my commission card.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Have a good day.
The sheriff agonized the poor officer who was just doing this job. Days after this incident went viral, Sheriff Bryant issued an apology, claiming that he later went to the police station and also apologized to the officer for his conduct. Well, this sheriff considered himself above the law, and this next veteran cop took things up a notch.
You don't want to complete the test?
No, I don't.
Okay. You understand, sir? You're my first sergeant. Thank you.
On April 27, 2018, a couple of police officers were dispatched after concerned callers reported about a car swerving across traffic at high speed. However, as the officers approached the vehicle, they were stunned to see who was driving.
Just be advised that Andy is in the lobby. Lewis?
Nine Zero County, 10:30 with that vehicle. Honeysuckle in Maine. You gotta do what you gotta do. We got calls on it. Mike, how was the observation?
What's up, LT?
Hey, LT, how you doing?
Somebody pulled it on you driving erratic.
Erratic driver.
Headed home?
The driver was Lieutenant John Chu, a 23-year veteran of the Lower Township Police Department. The officers recognized him personally and immediately contacted their sergeant.
Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. My mic's live, just so you know, at this point. I mean, my camera. We had an erratic driver call. Lieutenant Chu. We got him on a 38 Honeysuckle and Idell. I'm in charge right now. I just wanted to call and let you know. I'm not saying that yet. I haven't went up to the. Nucius went up to the car. I kind of stayed back.
Did the caller
Yes, sir. And Idell, right down the street from his residence. Okay. Yes, sir. You're not. Turn it on.
Oh, I switched the cameras out.
What did he say? I was behind him. I was behind you. Did you get any? Yes. We gotta do what we gotta do. We're gonna have to lock him up if he's 450, dude. Don't. You told him to just hang tight. You didn't observe any alcohol in the thing or anything. I know you probably. It's a high truck. Is there an odor yet or anything?
No.
The officers appeared quite puzzled about how to proceed as they had their body cams on. It's moments like these that we are thankful these cops are always recorded, or else the lieutenant would have been away by now.
Late picking. I'm not gonna be able to pick you up. Can you drive in? We have an incident. Now my mic's live. We're on a 38 right now with someone we work with. Yeah, we're not gonna mute our cameras at all or anything. Okay. Absolutely. Yep. All right, see ya. We're gonna have to pull him out. We can't mute our cameras, we can't do anything. Let's hope, hopefully he's all right. Safe to drive. Edward's just coming in. Come on. Hey, LT. So we had the erratic driver call on you. I guess Nucius had some observation. We have to handle this like anything else. He's gonna ask you to step out. We already talked to Lieutenant Brioli. All right. He's gonna make sure you're safe to operate the vehicle.
I have to drive half a mile.
I understand, but everything's recorded now, sir. You know that. We got to handle it how we have to handle it. Trust us. We don't want to be put in this position either.
I get it.
The lieutenant definitely appeared hammered, as he was having difficulty even answering the most straightforward question. The officers also handled the matter with precaution, giving him special treatment.
He's just going to talk to you. You know how it is. He's going to ask you some questions, make sure you're all right.
I'm fine.
I can do it there. Can you just take your hat off for me, please, sir? Can you just take your hat off? Feet together, hands down your side.
LT, let's get him off the. We don't want to do it in the middle of the road here. Let's get him off the side. I'm going to kill my lights too, all right? Just put the back on. LT, let's get you out of the middle of the road. We don't want you in the middle of the road here. Let's go off to the side.
All right, I'll take. Just go check your eyes real quick. Hands on your side, feet together. You see the tip of my finger? I want you to follow it with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? Just your eyes. Don't move your head for me, all right?
The officer proceeded with the field sobriety tests. After John failed the eye test, it was time for the walk and turn test, which truly challenged him.
Call 90.
I have a call on hold. Can you do that at 21?
Is it urgent?
Actually, did anybody attempt to call the reporting party? Because that's what it is. You are 50.
2, 3. On the 9th step, I want you to take a series of smaller steps and turn back around.
Just stand by on that. I'll give you a call when I
Take
clear.
9 steps back. 1, 2, 3. When you start the test, throw that foot on the line, right foot in front of it. Begin. Alright, the next test I want you to perform, leg of your choosing. You're going to raise that leg approximately 6 inches off the ground. You're going to keep your foot parallel to the ground, both knees locked out, and you're going to count in this manner. 1001, 1002, 1003, and so forth until I tell you to stop. Do you understand those instructions?
Yes.
Begin. Do you not wish to complete the test, sir? Get your hands off the truck, sir.
John performed poorly in the test and was inebriated beyond the legal limit. Even the cops hung their heads in shame after seeing his performance. Once again, the lieutenant tried to boast his authority to escape this situation.
1002, 1003. While you're counting, I want you to look down at your toe. Keep both knees locked out. You understand?
You know what?
Hold on, so, LT. You don't want to complete the test?
No, I don't.
Okay. You want to give it? You don't want to complete the test, sir?
No.
All right. Sir, you know we don't want to be put in this position.
You know what, John? I get it.
You don't have your weapon on you or anything. You don't have any firearms.
No, it's shit.
No, it's stuff I gotta ask, sir. Or LT.
Shit, no.
Okay.
No.
All right. Your observations. LT, we're gonna have to bring you in and put you on the box based on the test. You know we don't want to do this. We have to do everything's recorded. You understand that?
No, I get that.
The officers were only doing their duty and felt terrible by doing the right thing. On the other hand, the lieutenant kept making their lives challenging by being ignorant about the crime he had committed.
Your phone's not on you, right? Mike, you want to check to make sure it doesn't have anything on? Okay. All right, nothing personal, our safety and yours. You know what we have to do. I just want to check to make sure you don't have anything on you. All right, up.
You know what, John? Go ahead, do what you got to do.
All right, can you walk back to this car with us, please?
No, you know what?
What's her?
I would love to know who called.
You can find that out. You know that. You can find out. I don't know who called. I do not know, but you know you'll be able to find that out. We did not know we were looking for this truck, sir. Came out as an erratic driver. Handled it how any cops would have. But unfortunately, we're in a situation now.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I would never disrespect. And no, I wouldn't.
And I wouldn't disrespect you either, sir.
It's terrifying to hear the lieutenant asking about the person who called upon him, as he could later pose him significant threat due to his position of authority.
I do, man. Not much any of us can do, unfortunately. We can't do that, Mike. Yeah, just do me a favor and hang tight, all right? LT, you know you can't do that, sir. We can't have you in the front seat.
I can't have you in the front seat.
We're not going to cuff you in the back, okay? We're going to do it in the front, all right?
Are you serious?
Yeah, sir, you understand this. You would hate to be in our position too. John, please, John. Please, John. John, please. We'll get you the help you need. Let's just, come on. You know we don't want to do this to you. All right, but we gotta get you. We gotta get this process up. People are starting to calm. We're all gonna get. You know what? Other people
John,
responding out
tell
here.
me you,
Sir, I would like you.
This
is what's gonna happen. We're gonna get you behind this door so no one sees. Mike's gonna put the cuffs on you in the back.
No, there's no cuffs.
Yeah, what it's do. We have policies and procedures. Let me call the LT. You can shut the door for now. Oh man. Did you search him? Make sure you search him, Mike. This is going to be...
You pat him for weapons, right?
I pat him for weapons, but just do a... You know this is going to be scrutinized and...
I'm going to search you real quick, all right?
Despite being correct, the officers were intimidated by the hammered lieutenant. Finally, after minutes of pleading, he agreed to get in the back of the police cruiser. But one important detail was missing. The suspect was never handcuffed. The officer called his supervisor and was rightly told to cuff the lieutenant no matter what. Once again, the entitled veteran was not too pleased with this.
Wait by your truck, I'll come talk to you in like 2 minutes, all right?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. We got a couple in the front. We can do it in the front, but we gotta do it. LT, we just talked to Lieutenant Perdue. We have to, in the front, we'll do it right here. Don't have to do it behind your back. Okay? Please please cooperate
John,
with us.
come on.
John, we don't want this to turn into anything more. You know that. We don't want it. But we cannot lose our jobs. You understand, sir? You're my first sergeant. Thank you. All right. You can get him out here. I'm gonna check the truck and I'll call for John's Law.
Ultimately, John gave in, and it was time for him to be transported to the police station for a breath test. Next, we'll see what happens when a whole police department gets caught trying to hide crimes.
Okay, he's not touching it. You guys are.
Well, let go of your
We're not touching it.
That's too tight. Okay, let me undo it. That's too tight. Relax.
Let go.
That's too tight. Let me undo it. Relax.
Hey, why are you guys touching?
Why are you touching us?
This is illegal.
That's illegal.
We didn't.
Touching us.
Calm down so they don't say that you're doing anything. Just calm down. You know that.
What are you doing?
You think the louder you yell, something's gonna change?
Why are you doing this?
Right.
Why are you doing this? Protecting me, you're hurting me.
What? You just assaulted me.
Good. You're hurting me.
Step back. Step back.
Yeah, you are. You got that too tight. It's too tight.
What are you doing?
Loosen it.
Let go of some of this shit. Let go of that
Loosen
stuff.
it.
Let go of some of this stuff.
Loosen the cuffs. Loosen the cuffs.
They will.
Loosen the cuffs. cuffs! Shut up! Loosen the cuffs! Loosen the cuffs!
Another shocking thing about this arrest was that every officer had their body cams turned off moments before making the arrest. The reason will be discussed later in this video, leaving you stunned. This footage was from Officer Tomorrow's body cam, who was the only cop with his body cam on.
Loosen it! There's nothing wrong. I guess you're gonna say computers in there. Loosen the cuffs! Loosen the cuffs! Stop! What are you doing? Ow! What are you doing? I should be eating French fries over there. Instead, I gotta touch his filthy, nasty guitar. Just cooperate. Let it go. Dude, that's my phone. Let it go. We'll put it in your bag. Which bag is this?
As you can see, one of the officers confiscated the guitarist's phone and handed it over to Captain Zayuba. This phone is significant in the case as it recorded the captain's interaction with them.
Because it goes in the property. Hold on. I'm done with my contact.
Moments later, the captain appeared to come over and say something to Officer Tomero. And just then, he also turned off his body cam. Both John and Joe were taken to the police station, where they were charged with disorderly conduct and released 6 hours later. Later, they appeared in court to fight their charge. And even the judge sided with the musician.
So you're playing the guitar on Mayfield, and they said you can't do that?
He was playing his guitar outside. They were arrested.
For playing this guitar? Were you intoxicated?
No.
So you just playing the guitar? And the police just came up to you and just arrested you? Took your cell phone and did all that because you were playing the guitar? Okay, something not right about that.
Just like that, the judge dismissed the charge against them. However, a big piece was still missing in the case. The brothers had never gotten their phone back, and when they asked about it, the cops said that no phone was retrieved during the arrest. As the body cam footage clearly shows, Captain Zuba did get hold of it. Shortly after, an investigation was launched into this case, and detectives went to the guitarist's residence to inquire about what had happened earlier.
Folder number 4, like 80% sure that's him. Sorry.
You can just sign it and write what percentage you believe and who do you think that is?
Captain Zuba.
Okay.
This is clearly Bush.
Okay, what percentage are you sure?
100%.
Okay. From here, we gather any facts we can. We're gonna go to Little Italy to see if there's any surveillance footage there.
Okay.
Stuff like that, and we present the facts to a prosecutor, and the prosecutor will determine if the officers committed a crime or not.
This here is one of the bike I had. That they returned that and the guitars, no problem.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, aside from your cell phone, they gave you everything else back. Just your cell phone was not in your bag or nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be accusatory, but it was kind of wrong what happened, man. And I think they might have destroyed the cell phone because of the evidence of him assaulting me on it.
The detectives soon realized that there was much more to this case, so they immediately contacted the officers present on the scene and interrogated them, starting with Officer Tomero.
Okay, on August 15th, 2019, were you employed by the City of Cleveland while working the Feast of the Assumption?
Yes.
Okay, and what was your role there?
I work in the community service unit and we were detailed to the feast.
Okay. Did you have an encounter with two males named Joseph and Jonathan Workman?
If that's the males in the video, I didn't get their names.
Yeah, two guys with the guitars?
Yes.
Okay. Did you witness Captain DeZuba, or let me start with this, did you witness either of the two guys trying to record Captain DeZuba on their cell phone?
I don't know if they were trying to record them, they had cell phones.
Okay. Did you see Captain DeZuba try to take the cell phone out of one of the guy's hands?
I think during the arrest, I took one of the cell phones out of the person's hand.
Okay, but you didn't witness Captain DeZuba ever? Because the complaint is that Captain DeZuba grabbed the guy's hand when he was trying to film him and twisted his arm. No. You didn't witness anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did you witness Captain DeZuba use any sort of reportable force on either of these two guys?
No.
Tomero refuted everything that was asked against the captain. It was obvious that he had prepared for this line of questioning and was not going against his sergeant.
Did you hear Captain DeZuba ever give an order for people not to have their cameras on?
No.
While this incident was going on?
No.
Okay, what about for the feast in general? Did he ever make we don't have to have our cameras on? He never said anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do you know if the officers that were working overtime details were given the option to drive their personal cars to the feast?
I don't know.
Okay.
Tamaro also claimed that the captain never asked any of the officers to turn off their body cams, but he had no clue that this lie would be exposed pretty soon.
Doc Carey, badge number 2400.
Officer Carey, prior to beginning the interview, you had a chance to review the order to submit to an administrative interview form. Did you understand the form?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about the form?
No, sir. I tried to do crowd control, mainly as with 2 other officers as we approached. So I didn't get to see like the initial encounter.
Okay. Did you witness Captain DeZuba use any force on either of the males?
No, sir.
Did you witness Captain DeZuba take either of their cell phones away?
They did arrest them. Yeah, I saw the arresting part, but there was no force. I don't.
Okay. They were just handcuffed?
Yes.
Do you know why they were arrested? Or did you know why at the time, why they were being arrested?
Disorderly.
Okay. Did you witness that, or did you just...
No, that, like I said, we came upon that like probably in the middle of the incident.
Okay.
Officer Carey was one of the officers who didn't turn his body cam on throughout the incident, and when questioned about it, he didn't hesitate to throw his captain under the bus.
I'm just going to ask you this because I asked everybody else. This is a picture of the 3rd District property book. I highlighted the line there. Is that your handwriting, or did you write that in the book?
I didn't handle any of it.
Okay.
And no, that's not my handwriting.
Okay. When you put something in the property book, do you make a tag in LERMS for it? Put an entry in LERMS and print out a tag?
Sir.
Okay. Was your WCS on your person during this incident?
I did have it on.
Okay, and how come you didn't activate it?
I was told not to.
By who?
The captain.
Okay, and when did he tell you that?
The beginning, before we got dropped off.
Okay, so when you got dropped off to work the feast,
yeah,
he said you don't need to turn your cameras on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and that, did you interpret that as no matter what happened, you shouldn't turn your camera on?
I was interpreted, yeah. I mean, hey, don't turn the cameras on.
Okay.
And we didn't.
All right.
We're good.
Is there anything you want to add before we conclude?
No, sir.
The detectives had enough proof against the corrupt captain, but things were about to worsen for the tyrant.
So you didn't witness any interaction with these guys and Captain DeZuba?
No, when we initially were walking down the hill, they called for the captain and somebody else saying these kids want to talk to him. And we were walking on the hill, and then we heard them call the radio, hey, we need more officers over here, and that's when we came up. And by the time we came up, they were cuffed, and there's like bikes and that, so we just moved out of the way because people kept tripping over them.
Okay. Now, did you walk to the prisoner van with the...
Yes, we were. I was actually, I believe I was one of the front officers kind of clearing the path because, I mean, you know, it gets busy over there, so we're just trying to make sure no one got in the way.
Okay. Did you witness any officers with either of these guys' cell phones?
No, I never. The only time I saw their cell phone was when they were first initially playing, and the kid was, I think he was recording when the first officers were just talking. That was the only time I've ever seen that.
Okay, so when the initial officers were talking to them, he was recording them
when they first
from
made
what you
initial
could tell?
contact.
Okay. Did you witness what happened to any of the guys' property? Their guitars, their bikes, anything like that?
No, the only thing I saw, I think one of the officers had their bikes, and he walked it down because he was next to me, and then he set it against the van because they're like, where do you want your bikes? And they said, just put them against the van. So that's what he set it against the van, and once they got to the van, we just walked away because I think like everybody was there for the most part.
Like the previous cop, Officer Dorner claimed he was not involved in the arrest. It's abysmal how none of the officers were ready to take responsibility for this arrest. However, Dorner also claimed that the captain instructed them to turn off their body cam.
Okay. Did you have your WCS on you at the time?
Did I have it on me or turned on?
On you.
On me, yes, I had it on me.
Did you turn it on?
No, I did not.
And why is that?
We were told initially from the captain not to turn them on, and then I was thinking we were off duty, so we didn't think we had to have them on.
Okay, and what made you think you were off duty?
I mean, we were just told it was kind of not a secondary employment, but we weren't actually working, like not working for the district, but we were working kind of, we all filled out overtime cards, so.
It was a detail.
It was a detail, I guess you could say.
Okay. But Captain DeZuba, was it while this incident was going on with these guys?
No, I believe when we first got off, it's hard to remember, but I believe when we first got off the bus and we all kind of like congregated and we were talking about who's working where, he said, you don't need to turn your cameras on because it's like he said a detail.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. Do you remember anything else about this incident that I didn't ask about?
No.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you because I asked everyone else. This highlighted line there, is that your handwriting?
No.
Okay. Do you know whose handwriting that is?
No.
Okay.
No.
If you would have put this in the book, would you have put an entry in LERMS and printed out a tag for the property?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The officers were clearly turning against Captain Dzuba in order to save themselves. Next up was Officer Musina, who was much more involved in the arrest, and even he blamed the captain.
They were playing their guitars and had a confrontation with Captain Dzuba. Do you remember witnessing any of that?
Bits and pieces, not much.
Okay. Did you witness when the officers initially approached the guys when they were playing on the...
No, sir.
Okay. Did you witness any other interaction with Captain Dzuba?
Minimal.
Okay.
Very minimal.
Did you see either of these two guys trying to record Captain Dzuba with their cell phone?
Record Captain Dzuba? No.
Okay.
I saw them recording the officers as they were walking away from us because we were at the top of the hill.
Okay.
We were walking down and they were walking away from us. So they were recording and then everybody kind of became a crowd.
Okay. Did you witness Captain Dzuba use any sort of reportable force?
No, sir.
Okay. The guy complained that Captain Dzuba grabbed his hand, he was recording it, and twisted his arm. Did you witness anything like that?
I did not.
Okay. Were you present when the males were being handcuffed?
Yes, but I was way behind the officers, so I didn't see anybody. I didn't see who did handcuffing or where they were handcuffed at.
Surprisingly, none of the officers testified that force was used, and the captain indeed took their phones away. These cops were not being honest, but were only trying to save their jobs.
Did you witness any of the officers with either of the male cell phones?
Negative.
Okay. And did you walk back to the prisoner van?
I did.
Okay. Did you witness whether or not these guys identified themselves?
I did not witness that, no.
Okay. Were you present when they were issued minor misdemeanor citations?
I was not.
Okay.
I only created a path to the van with the guys.
Did you have a WCS camera on that day?
I did have it with me, yes.
And why wasn't it activated during the incident?
Normally, like, we never really used them at the feast. I've done it a few times, but also Captain told us no cameras.
When did he say that?
Right around the time the gentlemen were being arrested, prior to, right around there, people were like, no, everybody just kept saying no cameras. Like, the captain said no cameras. I got a no camera sign, so I didn't turn mine on. I didn't turn it on.
Okay. Do you know why he said that? Is there a reason, or?
No, I didn't question it. Anytime somebody higher up says no camera, I turn it off.
Okay.
Or don't activate.
After interrogating the officers, the detectives realized one thing. They were dealing with a completely corrupt group of cops who weren't going to tell the truth. Shortly after, the detectives proceeded to investigate Officer Michael Cozart, who had made the arrest.
I was at the Feast of Assumption. On that day, I did not know their names. I could only identify them by the one who was wearing the mask and the one who wasn't.
Right.
I didn't, and I really still don't know which one is which.
Okay, right. That's fine. So how did you first become aware of them or have contact with them?
On that day that we're talking about, I heard an officer ask for a supervisor to respond, okay? And because of my role in this, I went in the direction where they said they were. And that's when I first encountered them, when I responded to this officer's request.
And when you responded, what did you observe in terms of any behavior or actions on behalf of the complainants, the Workman brothers?
When I first approached, what I saw was them arguing, okay? And it appeared to be the beginning of a skirmish, if you will, because it was obvious that the officers were trying to get them to do something, and they were obviously resisting or not complying to whatever they were talking about, because they was yelling, screaming.
Did you, at any point in time, advise any other officer that the Workman brothers were not allowed to play their guitars at the feast or in that area?
That I don't know, but I do know, and I say it that way on purpose, because I do know that each one of the vendors there paid for the space.
So I'm just going to stop it right there and just ask you a question.
Go ahead.
You were walking with Captain Dzuba.
Yes.
Do you recall the officers who were kind of, for lack of a better term, trailing those two young men as you saw them walk up? The officers were following.
Right.
Do you recall those officers informing Captain Dzuba anything regarding them at that point?
See, looking at this helps me a lot, okay? Because when I approached, I thought I was seeing the encounter, okay? But obviously, it hadn't occurred at that moment, okay?
Just like the other cops, Officer Cozart also tried to lie his way out. However, he had no idea that the detectives had access to CCTV footage and body cam recording. When they showed him the evidence, his demeanor suddenly changed.
I've just completed my 26th year. So, fortunately or unfortunately, I think I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So, I wasn't really focused on what they were saying or what they were really doing until I saw what I described to you as being somewhat of a skirmish.
Did you know what caused that somewhat of a skirmish?
No.
Do you recall if any officer will strike that? Do you recall if Captain Zuba was saying they're under arrest now for whatever reason?
See, I just don't know. I just don't know. Because now keep in mind, there's music playing in the, you know, from other locations. There's people walking around, and now all of a sudden I'm looking at a situation that's developing and beginning to appear to be out of control.
Just so I'm clear, when you were doing that, you were assisting these officers based on what you observed.
Based on what I observed.
Not on anything that you were told in terms of they're under arrest for a certain crime or anything.
Not at all. And again, I didn't care. You know, I saw that they were getting handcuffed, right? And my position is to assist the officers to make it as safe for everyone there as possible.
Okay, and again, you never informed any officer on the scene that prior to that encounter with Captain DeZuba that we we call, for sake of clarity, let's refer to that as the second encounter. Would that be
Understood,
fair?
yeah.
So at the first encounter, when the officers approach them and per the officers, they inform them they can't play the guitar. Did you inform those officers or any officers that they were not allowed to play their guitar?
No, but I'm sure somewhere along the line, okay, what happens is I'll get a lot of, hey Mike, over there, radio. Hey Mike, can the ice truck come up the hill? Nope, because the road is closed. Hey Mike, can the garbage truck do this?
Once again, the officer was trying to dodge the question. It was evident that he had been perfectly coached before this interrogation, as he just seemed to remember nothing about the incident.
I've heard, okay, because I didn't remember, because I didn't care. I heard that it was Officer Turner and Love.
And that would be accurate.
Yeah.
So both Officer Turner and Love, having been interviewed by the Office of Professional Standards and at least and by the Internal Affairs, say that they did transport them to jail.
Okay.
If you can recall, after that transportation, did you receive a call from either of those officers?
No.
Did you advise either of those officers why they were either at the county jail or en route to the 3rd District to, did you advise them about how they should handle the property that was placed in their truck?
No.
And to be clear, would you remember if you ordered them or instructed them not to tag, mark, or enter the property?
I can't order or instruct anyone to do anything. That's not my
So if you can recall, would you have done that?
No.
If they called you, would you have told them not to do that?
I would have said, you need to talk to a supervisor, is what I would have said.
Okay. And you don't recall saying that they strike that. You don't recall receiving a call from Love while he was at the county jail or en route to.
No, I just don't remember it. No.
And you don't recall.
I mean, again, if he said he called me, he called me.
But he also said that you told him not to mark, tag, and enter the
No,
property.
I wouldn't have done that.
So that wouldn't be accurate.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
Officer Cozart kept lying throughout the interrogation, and still, the detectives had no clue about the lost mobile phone. Ultimately, on March 4th, 2020, Captain Zuba was called in for an interrogation.
How these two brothers, the Workman brothers, first came to your attention and what actions you took as it relates to these two complaints, Joseph and Jonathan Workman.
I believe I answered that in the previous interview.
Okay, so you stated then that you were coming to the scene and you encountered these gentlemen, and the officers who were in the area of these two individuals informed you that they had been placed under arrest. Is that still your
Yes,
statement
sir.
today?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall which officer or officers informed you that they had been under arrest at that point?
Bush.
Bush did that. Officer Bush was interviewed by Sergeant Sheehan by the City of Cleveland Division of Police Internal Affairs Division, and during that interview, he stated that that he had not placed them under arrest nor cited them and had no intentions of doing so, and it was his understanding that you ordered him to do so. Would that statement by Officer Bush be accurate?
No.
Okay, so his saying that to Officer Sheehan in his recorded interview, would he be mistaken in that or lying about that?
I would imagine he's just mistaken.
From the beginning of the interview, Captain Dzuba's body language was shocking as he felt too entitled to be questioned for his action. However, the detective soon showed him the CCTV footage of the arrest, which made him speechless.
What's captured here, and correct me, I mean, you weren't there, but these are officers, and the complaints are right here in this, like, kind of on the sidewalk on the doorway. And per the officer's statements to Internal Affairs, they were instructing these individuals that they were not allowed to play their guitars there. If you know, is it unlawful for individuals to play their guitars in a public area like that?
In the feast is permitted. The church regulated all entertainment.
And so a violation of this church's rule, would that be a criminal offense?
As far as I understand, yes.
Because within the city of Cleveland, isn't it lawful to do the act they were doing if had it not been for the church prohibition against that? Would their actions be lawful?
As long as they weren't obstructing.
The captain immediately realized that the detectives knew the truth. Despite being proven wrong, he remained entitled, acting as if he had done nothing illegal and was unjustly forced to be there.
The way I understand it, the church regulates all the entertainment connected with the feast because it's nationalistic. It's like Italian music. The singers, the walking around a cappella groups, the parades, all that's regulated by the church. And it's all donated or they get paid to be there. So to my understanding, they just asked those guys to leave. Just go outside the footprint and play.
Who asked them to leave?
As far as I recollect, the officers.
Right, yes, the officers did ask them to leave. And then they stated that they had a right to do that.
Correct.
Which, under city law, they do. Now, is it your opinion that this church can somehow supersede 675 A01 and A02, which authorize and specifically allows for the behavior that they were doing simply because they have a permit that allows them to block the streets and encumber the sidewalks? So that would make this action an ordinarily lawful action now unlawful and being subject to being charged or cited for this behavior by the City of Cleveland Police. And this seems like this is a private entity asking a governmental entity, this being the police department, to enforce their private rules. Would that be your interpretation?
Would it only takes a disturbance?
That is not accurate under the codified Cleveland audience. It just restricts certain hours. It has nothing about disturbing. You are correct in terms of blocking it, but I don't know what the sure.
That's a schedule of events that the church puts on. You know, and they regulate the entertainment. They've been doing this festival for 100 years.
Right.
So if you have a festival anywhere and then you get a bunch of guys that are going to just set up a shop and start playing a band and disturbing everybody without the authorization to be there.
That doesn't convert it to a criminal act on behalf of those people.
Okay.
This private entity may not like them there. They can call the police and see about having them deemed a trespasser, but ordinarily protected, Constitution protected speech that has also been examined by the city legislature to determine that this specific act is permissible and permitted under this code.
The captain had such poor understanding of the law, as he believed that policies and permits could supersede the Constitution. The detectives quickly put him back into his place, but the fun was only getting started.
So he's riding his bike away and officers are still here. So at this point, Captain DeSuba, would you feel that these officers had placed him under arrest at that point, or concluded they would be arrested?
I don't know.
But on your interpretation of what you see here, them riding away their bikes and the officers not pursuing him in any way, or even really looking in their direction as they're leaving out, I think that's highly unlikely that they're under arrest when they're still here and they're leaving at this point.
Are they approaching the captain, or is the captain approaching them, though?
They're approaching each other. They're heading in the same direction.
All right.
I don't know how you could.
Well, that's what I mean. Do we know?
And then they're going to be taken. One is going to be taken that way by an officer. As you can see, he'll take his bike, and Jonathan Workman is going to be placed against the wall there, and they will be handcuffed. It's highly unlikely that the officers would let them pedal off on their bikes and create that sort of separation without even really looking in their direction. But more importantly, these same officers have already given statements that these individuals were not under arrest at that point. That Officer Bush, who Captain DeZuba said informed him that they were under arrest, stated something just to the contrary, that he had, not only were they not under arrest or had been cited, he had no intentions on doing so because they left. That was his statement.
The detectives proved the fact that the guitarists were not arrested prior, and the captain was the aggressor who arrived and escalated the situation. At this point, Zuba was almost out of word, and it was his yes man who was trying to talk with the officers.
We booked him and arrested him?
Yes, Patrol Officer Bush says he arrested him under the order of Captain DeZuba. He didn't know why. And the other officer said, I don't know what act of disorderly conduct they committed. It had to have happened after the initial encounter at where they were playing the guitars. They said it had to happen. The disorderly conduct had to be something that happened when they encountered.
Well, that's why I was asking.
And that's what these 6, 7 officers all say that same thing.
They go to him or Captain DeZuba. Obviously, somebody tells him that's why he's coming there.
Well,
or no?
Captain DeZuba here today said Officer Bush told him that, and Officer Bush.
I know, but can we go back and ask the questions again? He just made a comment that Officer Bush said to arrest him, but you didn't go over anything as far as where was he when he finds out. What did he find out was wrong? He's telling you that Officer Bush said they were under arrest.
And the officers who were involved in that initial encounter all state that they were free to go, that they weren't placed under arrest, nor were they going to be cited. And that subsequent to that, Captain DeZuba ordered them to arrest them and cite them.
No, that is not true. I didn't order anybody to arrest anybody.
Right, that was my question. So those officers who said that,
those are the
they had to be mistaken or lying, because that's what they consistently all say.
Suddenly, Captain DeZuba and his partner were short on word, as his own juniors had exposed them. The detectives keep playing the footage, which continues to weaken the captain's claim.
That is not consistent with, because that's you just now coming. And when you first get to them, the only officer that's even in...
There's 2 officers to my left.
Right, but those officers were never up there.
But I don't know this.
But they're walking with you towards them.
I'm not watching. I am not watching. I'm watching 2 people coming toward me.
Right, but are you saying that one of those 2 officers who are walking with you in that direction towards them are the one who never encountered them up there?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying there were a lot of people around.
Right.
And I'm watching 2 people coming toward me. All I know is some officers called for a supervisor. That's all I know.
Right.
And then when everybody catches up, I'm like, what's going on? These guys asked to be arrested.
Wait a minute. You're saying that when they came up, the police said these guys asked to be arrested?
Yeah. I go, are they under arrest? They go, yeah. And I'm like, why aren't they cuffed?
But they didn't tell you what they would be arrested for, just per the complaint's request.
It was very short. It was very short. These guys are known agitators. We didn't know this at the time, but this is what they do. They have a website. Have you seen it?
Right, but
the Chardon Times. They do this all over, everywhere.
Do what?
They bait policemen. They sit there and then they motherfuck them and they say, I have a right to be here, blah, blah, blah. So as I understand this, once we got down to the van, once these guys were cuffed and we had their property and we walked down to the prisoner van, that's when they said, we're going to sue you, you have no right, U.S. code, blah, 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 and they're throwing all this legal stuff, which in my interpretation is why Bush called for a boss in the first place.
No.
Because once they start throwing out U.S. codes, your average officer doesn't understand that.
The captain grew agitated as more evidence was being thrown against him. At this point, the entire room knew that this pig was guilty, but the interrogation moved forward.
Right.
If he wasn't arresting him, why did he call for a boss?
He said he called for a boss because the complainants requested a boss because they felt they were in their rights and they were hoping that a boss would clarify it because they felt that these officers did not know the law that permits them to do the conduct they're doing. So that's why they called for a supervisor. And Bush, that's his statement, that he called per their request, not for because he had an issue or because he felt it was over once they finally left the scene, as you saw. Did you, 4 o'clock? At any time, did you order any officers who were working this detail to not activate their WCS?
No.
You never ordered anyone to do that?
No. Tony Tomorrow had his on.
Right. He's the only one did, and he said the reason why he had his on, he wasn't assigned to that detail. He works, I guess, community policing that's already working in the Little Italy area. Is that correct? And so he's the only one who had his on. That's the only reason we got this.
Soon, the detectives proceeded to ask the captain about the body cam issue. Turning your body cam off during an arrest should be considered a crime, and this corrupt captain was the reason why this happened. However, when questioned about it, he just conveniently refuted it.
No, there
Except
were.
for the only other officers who had theirs on were the officers who transported them, who was Officer Turner and Love. And in their IA interviews, Patrol Officer Bush, Patrol Officer Anderson, Dominique Anderson, badge number 1753. Patrol Officer Scott Carey, badge number 2400. Patrol Officer Richard DeVelchio Jr., badge number 1278. Patrol Officer Musina, Patrol Officer Wright, Patrol Officer Cody Dorner, badge number 269. They all stated in their IA interviews that you ordered them not to activate their WCS camera. In fact, Officer...
It's a direct statement that they're saying the captain orders them not
every
to
last
turn it on?
one make that direct.
Not that somebody had said we're not turning our cameras
Every
on
last
during this
one.
event. So the captain would have had to go to each one of them and directly say, do not turn your camera
Some of them
on.
said it was said when they were getting off the bus, because I guess they rode a bus to this detail, and then
and who the captain met them at the bus.
And I think it's Del Vecchio who says during the actual arrest.
At this point, the captain is done and dusted. The interviewer had done a fantastic job of owning this corrupt pig, and now he is cornered from all sides.
Including Officer Bush. Every officer said they were ordered by Captain DeZuba to to not activate their WCS. Each and every one of them. And none of them had their WCS.
Well, can he
And I
speak to
asked
that?
him, yeah, he'd already answered it. He said he didn't issue that order.
Did you ever meet anybody getting off the bus? I mean, were
And
you
some-
present when they
No.
get off a bus?
Some said during this arrest, they were told, don't go on.
Okay. Did you ever tell
No.
them during the arrest, don't
So
turn
those
your
officers,
camera on?
again, those officers who made those statements during their IA interviews, they're mistaken or lying about you issuing that order?
I can't tell you why they said what they said. Well, I was standing next to, I believe, Kozar and Tomorrow. Tomorrow had his video on.
Right, he's the only one.
If I had said anything during the arrest, it would be on Tony's video.
Well-
If I said, don't turn your videos on, Tony would have shut his off.
Lastly, let's witness a case where a pop's loyalty to justice outweighed their loyalty to a corrupt colleague.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's a violation of HIPAA law. He's actually in.
Pardon me?
You see it around here right now? Did you see it? Yeah. Please leave.
Why?
It's a violation.
Because right now we're working on this. Please leave there.
Because he's He's a victim. He's a victim right now. You want to leave?
I'm watching.
You want to leave the area?
I want to make sure he's being
Please
taken
back
care
away.
of. Cool. Is there a rule about that?
We don't want you right here if I'm attending him.
Okay, but you're not doing
I want you on the other
anything.
side of that hedge.
What are you doing?
Right now, I want you on the
You're
other
not attending him. What are you doing?
Sir, right now, I'm going to ask you again on the other side of that hedge.
Why do you want to have to go to the other side?
You're going to get arrested for obstruction.
How am I obstruction?
I'm asking you to go to the other side, and I don't want you approaching me.
I'm not approaching you. You approach me.
Other side of the hedge.
What about everybody else?
Recording the incident was Mr. Galen's right, but the deputy had no regard for his rights as he went over to smash his phone before arresting him.
Is there a rule about that?
We don't want you right here if I'm attending
Okay,
him.
but you're not
I
doing
want you on the other
anything.
side of that hedge.
What are you doing?
Right now, I want you on the other
You're not attending him. What are you doing?
Sir, right now, I'm going to ask you again on the other side of that hedge.
Why do you want to have to go to the other side?
You're going to get arrested for obstruction.
How am I obstruction?
I'm asking you to go to the other side, and I don't want you approaching me.
I'm not approaching you.
Galen was then taken to the police station and charged with resisting an officer without violence. Galen bonded out of prison, and the charge was soon dropped. Mr. Galen didn't file any complaints, as if he was just waiting for his moment, which finally arrived 5 years later during a city commission meeting. Deputy Galen was getting an award for the Deputy of the Month when Galen decided to take revenge.
It's good to see you again. You probably don't remember me, but you're the police officer who falsely arrested me 4 years ago. You lied on the police report. I believe you're a rogue police officer, you're a bad police officer, and you don't deserve to be here.
No one expected this, and everyone was stunned. That's when the mayor stepped in to calm the situation.
We appreciate, as a whole, BSO and everything that you do for us.
The venue, the comments, and the way they were presented into the public setting was inappropriate. We just left a meeting. I talked to him about it, about how I was disappointed with his behavior, and it was unacceptable. And, surprisingly, the commissioner was very receptive to it, understood that perhaps he could have took a different approach, and we're going to work together to make sure this type of thing doesn't happen again.
This soon became a huge controversy, and many people criticized Galen's methods, claiming that it wasn't the right moment. However, some people sided with him as well.
There is a difference between legitimate criticism of a deputy and using a platform of the city commission to embarrass, humiliate, and berate that deputy.
You chose to act in a manner that brought shame, shock, and disbelief to all who saw it.
We are not anti-police. We are anti-police misconduct.
When you censor Mike, the rest of us will get seriously vocal. Thank you, Mike, for your courage.
When it comes to our police and how they treat residents and visitors of our city, I'd like to see some changes because every resident in Tamarack should feel safe and protected.
As the matter grew, people also claimed that Galen should be removed from his job. That's when the commissioner stepped in and addressed the incident.
Received messages of hate, threats. My family's safety has been compromised. I have to explain a mugshot for the rest of my life, as if I am a criminal, and I'm not a criminal.
Despite the pressure, the city commission let the matter go without reprimanding Mr. Galen, meaning he had the perfect revenge on the tyrant cop. Surprisingly, there is no shortage of idiot cops, just like this woman, who was caught driving drunk.
I'm a Pinellas County deputy. I could get out, I could get in. I mean, you could come in. 5, 6.
On May 17, 2022, Officer Kristen Higgins was on routine patrol when he observed a car speeding and swerving across lanes. He conducted a traffic stop and was shocked to discover who was driving.
Okay, so driver's license, registration, proof of insurance?
I'm a Pinellas County deputy.
Okay.
And my driver's license, please.
Huh?
I'm a Pinellas County deputy.
Okay. Do you have your license, registration? No? You don't? Do you have your ID on you? Do you have any weapons on you?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm a deputy, but...
Well, that's why I'm asking. Do you have any weapons on you?
I live right there.
Okay.
I would normally, but...
Do you have some kind of ID or anything on you?
My ID is not here, but I'm a Pinellas County deputy. I was just driving that way. I dropped my friend off, and then I went this way because I live right there.
I get that, but I pulled you over because you were flying past everybody, and you were cutting.
No, I was just driving.
Okay, when I was pulling behind you, at this point you were going like 56 and a 40. You were flying.
No, I was not flying. I was just.
Do you have your registration with your name on it or anything?
Well, this car is not mine, so.
Okay. Do you have anything with your name on it? see your driver's license?
Sure.
Do you have your work ID?
No, it's at home in my cruiser.
Pinellas County Deputy Sheriff Shelby Elise Coniglio was behind the wheel, and she quickly flaunted her status. While the officer ran her license, she chatted with another cop. Her behavior made it apparent she had a little too much to drink earlier.
Hi.
So sorry.
You're fine.
I put the wrong one.
How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
What's going on tonight?
I have no idea. I'm trying to get home.
Oh, okay. Do you know why she pulled you over?
She said because I'm driving too fast.
Oh, okay.
But I'm a Pinellas County deputy, and I'm just trying to get to my house, which is right there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been with SO?
5 years.
Gotcha.
Is that a problem?
No, absolutely not.
Just trying to...
Yeah.
Deputy Shelby acted as if she was above the law, believing nothing could happen to her. To make matters worse, she started flirting with the officer, showcasing a shocking level of entitlement.
I'm good?
Like, you don't have to step out right now.
Well, there's like 5 people now.
You said you were a deputy?
Yes.
Where at?
Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, you're with SO? Nice.
Yeah.
How long you been with them?
5 years. I mean, I could get out, I could get in. I mean, you could come in.
No, you're good right now.
Listen, I'm just trying to, I don't know, whatever you guys want to do, whatever it is.
You're good.
I live at that light right there.
Gotcha.
So if you want to hang out, if you don't want to hang out.
Where are you coming from?
Not even long. You know Gandy Boulevard?
Mm-hmm.
I picked up someone, brought them over to their house, and then I was going back to my house.
Gotcha.
Because I am just living my life.
I gotcha.
And they actually live with Pinellas. And so I was like, oh, I'll bring you home.
Gotcha.
Boom, 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 boom. Easy.
Gotcha.
Espanol, but
Where from?
wait.
So you're Spanish?
Yeah,
From where?
you say where?
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you know you speak Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, pero way.
Ah, okay. I'm Dominican.
Dominican?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. No. No.
What's wrong with that?
Italiano, okay? And I only speak some Spanish,
Gotcha.
okay? For the most part, Italiano.
Gotcha.
But she pulled me over, I do what I want.
However, despite her best efforts, Officer Kristen wasn't going to let her off easily. He insisted she pass some field sobriety tests, much to the deputy's dismay.
She's coming now.
Alrighty. Go step out of the car for me a second. We're just going to talk over there, okay? Can you pull your front lights? Come over here. Just right out of the road. Can you walk over? Are you able to walk over here?
Yeah, in the...
Well, no, I just want to get on the sidewalk so we're not on the...
bullshit.
Okay, alright. Talking to you, I am getting some signs of impairment. Okay, can I check your eyes real quick?
Really?
Alright, I want to give you every chance to say that you're fine. Okay. So can I check your eyes real quick?
This is what we're going to do right now?
I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice?
No.
And you pulled me over for going 10 miles over the speed limit?
You were going more than 10 over the speed limit. And
Really?
it's not just speed, it's also how you were driving.
No.
Despite being a law enforcement officer herself, Shelby was adamant about making life difficult for the officers on duty. She hoped her badge would earn her some special treatment.
That's where you're at right now?
Yeah. Can I check your eyes real quick?
This is how you're doing it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't have a choice. It's
Yes,
the same
you
for
do.
anybody else.
No, yes you do.
I can't treat anybody any differently.
Yes, you would.
No.
I wasn't in other people's lanes.
Okay. I'm not going to argue about that. There's dash cam video and all of that, okay? But we're past that point right now. The point is you were stopped. You're showing signs of impairment.
No, I'm not showing.
Okay. All right. I want to give you every opportunity to show
You know
that
what?
that's not the case.
I want to ask. What signs of impairment was I showing?
You've got bloodshot, watery eyes. You have slurred speech.
Nope. I want to know.
Okay.
Pulling over. What was the signs of impairment?
I'm not gonna.
Because I do not have bloodshot, watery eyes. Because I have contact lenses in my eyes.
The deputy had clear signs of intoxication, including watery eyes and slurred speech. Moreover, she was hobbling, giving the officer every right to conduct a field sobriety test.
No, you have to go over it again. I am showing what exactly?
You have bloodshot, watery eyes. You have slurred speech. You have a
But I'm wearing contact lenses.
Okay. You have a strong odor of alcohol coming from your breath.
But I have.
All right. As I said, I'm just conducting an investigation at this point. I want to give you every opportunity. You're saying that you're fine. I want to give you every opportunity to show me that.
There's no way in hell. No way in hell.
Okay. Can I check your eyes real quick? Just make sure that you're okay.
You're gonna check it? No. You said that, but it's not impairment.
Okay. Well, if you are telling me you're not impaired, that great. I want you to give me. I want to give you every opportunity.
Show me that I'm impaired.
Okay. Can I check your eyes real quick?
And then what after that? If you're gonna check my eyes, what after that?
It depends what I see in your eyes.
Okay, so it depends on what you see in my eyes. But after that, it doesn't mean anything.
It's just one step at a time. Right now, I just want to check your eyes.
No, I don't. I don't want to see in my eyes. I want to see after that.
Okay. After it's a building process. Okay. It's not a one test determines everything.
Test.
Finally, after stalling for as long as she could, Shelby agreed to the field sobriety tests. The officer started with the most straightforward eye test, which would easily reveal if she was intoxicated.
Can I check your eyes real quick? Sure. Okay. Are you wearing contacts right now, you said?
I am wearing contact lenses and I cannot take them out.
That's fine. Do you have blindness in either eye?
I don't know.
I mean, can you see this light?
Yeah.
Okay. All I have you do is just stand with your feet together and arms down at your sides. So what I'm going to do is follow this red light with your eyes. Oh, careful.
That is...
Light with your eyes. Oh, careful.
That is...
Okay. What I'm going to have you do is follow it with your eyes and your eyes only. I don't want you to move your head at all, okay?
That's too fast.
Keep following with your eyes.
It's too far away.
Just follow it as far as you can go.
It's too far away.
Your eyes are drifting. You're not focusing on the pen. I just need you to focus on the pen, okay? Where were you born?
Orlando.
And what's your current address? You said you work for HCSO?
PCSO.
Of Pinellas County?
Yes.
I thought you told me Hillsborough County earlier.
No, I did not. I never said that.
Okay.
I said PCSO.
Okay. Are you street deputy or detention?
No, I am a deputy Pinellas County. I'm a patrol officer.
Okay.
Been here longer than I have.
Then why is she doing this? When I live right there. She doesn't care. She wants to fuck people over.
I'm pretty sure that's not what she wants to do.
So, in the sense of being a deputy, with her doing this, what are your thoughts?
What do you mean?
In the fact of me acing this or not, it doesn't matter, right?
No, I mean, that's the point of this, right? If you don't show signs of impairment while you do it, it's better for you. That's why we give you that option.
I'm still gonna be perfect for this.
The officer stuck to protocol, explaining everything about the walk and turn test, but her performance will leave you stunned.
It's totally up to you, but I would suggest taking your shoes off. Probably a lot more comfortable, but it's your decision. Need help?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'm going to do small heel-to-toe steps. 1, 2, 3, 10, 4, 10, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Alright. So for this next test, you can disregard the line. We're not going to use it.
Officer Kristen did a great job handling the drunk deputy, sticking to protocol every step of the way. Finally, she proceeded with the last sobriety test before making his decision.
You understand the instructions?
I understand.
Alright. I'll let you know when you
which leg do you want me to pick up?
Whichever foot you want. Whichever one you're more comfortable with.
Are you going to pick up?
Huh?
Right, left?
Whichever one you want.
I'll pick up whatever.
Okay, that's fine. I'll let you know when you can, okay?
Okay, whenever you want. 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012.
Hands on your sides.
1000. Huh?
Keep down your hands next to you.
Oh, now I forgot which
And now
one.
you may stop. Remember where else you are?
No, we were just trying to piece furniture together.
What time is it right now without looking, if you had to guess?
12 o'clock.
How much do you have to drink while you were down there?
I didn't have any drink.
Okay. Here's the thing. We both know you've been drinking. Okay. By telling us complete lies, like, I know that you're not being honest, okay? So, I know you had something. Do you remember where you had drinks? How much did you have?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so why do you smell like alcohol?
I do not smell like alcohol. I smell like pigment.
That's not pigment. That's very strong alcohol. Okay. And, I mean, you're a deputy, you know about HGN, okay? That's caused by alcohol. So, how much did you have to drink?
Despite being clearly over the limit, Deputy Shelby kept lying about her condition, demonstrating how even trusted officers can fail to uphold the law. Soon the officer decided to arrest her, putting an end to this altercation.
No pockets in here. Nothing up in your bra. Just put your feet for me real quick.
Do you want
Huh?
to keep those rings on? Or
Do you want those in the car, or do you want...
Just your stuff on? Do you have anything else you want?
My wallet.
Where is that?
It should be in the passengers.
Just that? Just your wallet and your phone? Okay. The car is registered under your dad's name?
Yes.
Is he close?
No, he's in Orlando. Yeah.
So
And I live at that intersection right there.
Is there anyone that can come pick the car up?
Yes, there is.
Who's that?
My sister.
Her sister. Is she close by?
She lives with me.
Oh, okay. Her sister lives right there. What, do you know her number? Or you need it?
Not off the top of my head, I don't. I need my phone, which is in the car.
Alright, I'll bring it to you. What's her name?
Stephanie?
Stephanie, gotcha.
Alright, give me a second.
Okay.
The deputy couldn't contact her sister, so the officers had no choice but to tow her car. On the other hand, she was brought to the police station to be booked.
Well, I know that.
Huh?
It's not my car.
I know.
It's really nice.
It's new.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Your keys are with the car. We got your phone and your wallet. And there's like a key inside your
car.
Your wallet. I don't know what that's to, but that's with your stuff still.
It's with my stuff or it's with my wallet?
You had like a house key inside your wallet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's still with your stuff. Whatever keys were on your keychain went with the car.
Wait, so you guys have to go to your precinct and then you have to all the way go over to 49th?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
One of the officers conducted a breathalyzer test, which came out as 0.206% and 0.219%. She was charged with 1 count of DUI and transported to the Pinellas County Jail. Things got from bad to worse for the poor deputy, as she was instantly fired from her position. However, this wasn't the last time a police officer was arrested, as the following incident involved an even more dangerous situation.
I said, whatever, dude. So he started walking and he kept pointing a gun like this to us. He said, well, I'm gonna take your soul. I'm gonna take your soul from you right now.
On January 26, 2024, the Albuquerque Police Department received a shocking call from a person claiming that a Bernalillo County deputy had threatened them with a gun. Soon the officers went over and found the deputy in question.
Thank you. I sir, over here and I served the key. I was leaving the key and we're out there opening your candy, getting ready to leave. And this guy, he's on a PA system and just some lights on and says, get out of here. Get out of here. Take your business elsewhere. We know what he's talking about. So then I just said, excuse me. I started walking like this, and he pulls his gun out on me. He says, get the fuck back. Get the fuck back. I said, why? He goes, this is the sheriff's office. I said, whatever, dude. So he started walking, and he kept pointing a gun like this to us. He said, well, I'm gonna take your soul. I'm gonna take your soul from you right now. Keep tying me to this guy.
Hello, sir. My name is Officer Weather Deputy. Are you security here? No, I'm just chilling. You're just chilling? So the reason why I'm talking to you is we got a call for service about a silver Dodge, a gentleman pointing a gun at somebody else saying he's going to take a soul and doing all that. Do you mind just stepping out for me real quick so I can complete my investigation? Because this is the truck that they named. Did you have an ID with you? Yeah. Okay.
The deputy was later identified as 34-year-old Michael Barreco, who continued to refute the claims against him. And, however, the cops weren't about to let the matter slide easily.
Like I said...
Just got here,
no, I know. So like I said, we got a call. Someone was pointing guns. This is the vehicle they gave.
No,
that's why I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I literally just got here.
I'm trying to figure out a description for the male that did this.
No, I get it, Billy.
So once they get me that, we'll continue going. If they give me the description that matches you, what we'll do is we'll do a field ID.
Okay.
Of the person that's called is whoever our caller is will come do all that stuff and either say that's him or that's not him. Okay. You're not working security or anything?
No.
What do you do for work?
I work for the county.
You work for the county?
Yeah.
What do you do for the county?
I'm with the SO.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
So you're off duty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Brett, where are you at? So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I'm on the west end of the Circle K. You a football guy?
What's up?
You a football guy?
What do you mean?
Like you watch football, NFL and stuff? Who's your team?
I'm a Niners guy, man.
Niners? Oh, nice.
Yep. Barely made it out last week. Green Bay.
Yeah, well, Green Bay got hot at the right time. I think their team was just a little too young.
Yeah.
I'm a Saints fan, so I haven't. Ever since Breeze left, we've.
1585. Can you log me 1916 and starting mileage 901?
Yeah, this is super awkward.
I know.
The officer realized that there was something wrong, as he could smell the alcohol on it. Therefore, they had to detain him momentarily before they worked out the entire case.
What's the rest of the DP? Yep. This is Michael.
Michael?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Michael. So
Just to let you know, bro, right now, you're going to be detained until further notice, just pending investigation, okay?
Okay.
So we do have to place you in handcuffs for now, okay?
Alright.
Just until we can run some more investigation on what's going on, okay?
Two cuffs?
Yeah.
Those on the floor.
Alright. Go ahead and slip sec. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, you got the fob. Lucky.
Have a seat for me, man.
Yeah, man.
Alright, just stand by for me, okay, man? Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, what are we waiting for?
So I'm gonna go talk to the clerk inside. If you saw anything, get more information, and I'll come and talk to you. Sure? Alright.
Soon, the officers obtained the CCTV footage, which clearly showed Michael approaching. However, the footage didn't capture the assault, so the cops continued to search for conclusive proof, which was just around the corner.
He also said he been working with BSO for 15 years.
Oh, really? Maybe is that so?
Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know.
Like the 26th?
Yeah, I think Tristan added it to the call. So, dude, I would probably have a...
it doesn't... Maybe it's a...
Is that better? You want to turn it? You want to turn it?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a sec.
I'm not very flexible.
There you go, go ahead and turn. Whichever way you want it.
Yeah.
You want it like that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Nothing there either way, really.
Can you do this one more time? Like,
Absolutely.
I appreciate that a lot, just so we can see it again.
No problem.
And it's like,
this reverse is horrible.
It could have been, hey, get the hell out of here. Their reaction wasn't.
Yeah, because this is what I think happened. He saw him, he's probably getting high. He said, guys, get it out.
Yeah. A little bit further back.
Further back?
Yeah, when he approaches the vehicle.
With me again, sir?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not trying to bug, man. I'm just trying to figure out what the status is. Like, I just really want my wife to know that, like, I'm okay. I'm not dead somewhere. She doesn't wait for me in hours.
Wait a minute. We're gonna have these guys get brought.
Okay. We're actually almost done and we can do that, yes? Okay. Just give her an update. And we'll give you an update really soon, okay? Was that your only question or concern you wanted to let me know about? Or?
Can you tell me what's going on? Like,
yeah,
am I booked? Am I released with an investigation?
We 100% will. Let me talk just with your team, and I'm going to come over here. Just with those gentlemen, though, they're kind of my chain of command, like same as yours. So we'll come right back.
Soon, the officers considered letting him go, but then decided to get a search warrant for his car. What they found inside would leave you shocked.
So everything is justified. There's no questions. For tonight, though, you're being released. Nothing's going to take place further. We gave your chain the report number and stuff. They are willing to give you a ride home. So we're going to get you out of these cuffs, sir. Thanks for being compliant. So let's do that. Let's get you out of here, sir.
How am I able to get my phone, man?
Tomorrow morning, the one sergeant, I don't know if you saw the other one that was with me, he's in contact with the chain. Once things are being like released and stuff, we can get
in contact with anybody like without my phone, man. Like not even like work and stuff.
Well, you know, too, like just our side. If we take something out of that truck, we're violating, your rights and stuff. So we had to do the right thing too.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So I guess, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Like,
yeah.
How do I get my phone? Or
we're gonna get probably everything to you tomorrow. So our detectives, they come out, start unsealing the vehicle, doing their search warrant stuff, and get your property back. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get you out of here, sir. Cool. Do you have everything on you, sir, that you need?
Yeah.
All right, and then I think one of them will help you out, sir.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cool. Appreciate it. I'm waiting for my friend or something. Just perceive as not doing shit you probably should have been doing. I don't know. I'm trying to get away from it.
Do Was there anything more said after that? Like as they were walking away?
No, just like super muffled. Just like, get the fuck out of here. Like a professional, obviously.
If you have any questions, I give you my phone, my contact information, so that way you guys can get in touch with me. All right. I appreciate your time.
In these compelling cases, the significance of integrity in law enforcement is brought to light, showcasing the courage of officers who hold their own accountable. The resulting arrest serves as a powerful demonstration of internal justice, emphasizing that sometimes the most impactful stand comes from within. It turns out, when you build your career on lies, the truth has a funny way of knocking it all over. If watching these crooked cops get their comeuppance brought a smile to your face, you're in the right place. Remember, karma may be a slow cook, but it serves the most satisfying dish. So like, comment, and subscribe if you're hungry for more servings of justice. Trust us, you don't want to miss the next course.